All right, all right. What's up, folks, man? Let's get into it. Let's get into it, man. I want to take this deep dive, man, into the Los Angeles experience. And this is from the experience of racial change throughout South Central Los Angeles area. And yesterday I was going through, I don't even know how yesterday I even get up on the school yearbook, but I start going into my graduation year, which is 1999. Can you believe they've been out of high school for 20, going on 27 years? Would that be 27 years? Yeah, I believe so. Been out of high school that damn long. I've been out of high school longer than some of y'all have been living this shit. That shit's crazy. But going into that yearbook, I'm looking through the yearbook and, seeing old faces I haven't seen in a long time and having a story behind some of the people seen in the yearbook. But I decide on the website where I find the yearbook, they had multiple years of Washington High School's yearbooks. And so I was like, let me go back and look what Washington looked like, because even at Washington, even in this present day, where you see this dynamic shift in race, and it goes back to where you look at the way in which politics and social economic shit plays out in this area, in this region of Los Angeles, which was a predominant. That's why I be like, people don't know their history. Some people only think of themselves as, kind of the lowest layer within the society, and they think they come from the ghetto, they think they come from the slums, when you actually don't. You have created the look of the environment and shit. You have created the behavior in the community. But when you look at this shit, and we was going back in time to where Washington, some 40 years back, what was it, about the 60s? No, it's almost going 50 something years back, 60 years back into the 60s, to where you watch, when we were looking at the yearbook yesterday, where Washington barely had a black presence. And it's crazy to look at that. There were even Asians at the school and area. But like I always spoke about, as a kid coming up, we didn't have many Latinos. There wasn't a Mexican population in the area of Los Angeles I'm from like that. I don't even know if that was the case throughout all of Los Angeles. There wasn't a population of them. So like I say, I start seeing Mexicans towards like a growing population of them, like in the later part of the 80s and shit. We'll have a few, even when I went to elementary school, we had a few Mexican friends who I used to always think was white. I used to always be like, I got white friends and shit. I didn't know what a Mexican was. I just went off of their complexion. They had the same skin color as a white person. They talked English. I ain't never heard no other language talk. So I always thought they were white. And that's why I had one incident in elementary school where I was getting on the teacher about her trying to play discrimination, trying to I felt like I used to watch that shit as a kid. Like the Mexican kids who I thought was white going to the front of the line, she let him out, which I probably was right. She probably was doing that shit. And I noticed we in the back. So I walked my ass up to the front and got in a cold little dispute with this white lady. I'm probably in the second or third grade or some shit. And then I remember after the little the damn thing, that's why I just think we were able to like control. I thought I was putting on a damn like a boycott and shit, like a protest, especially after the year when LA Unified had that big ass strike with the teachers and shit. When they came back, we was running through teachers. We ended up that year in my 4th or 5th grade year, whatever year that was, we ran through like 6 teachers. There was so many, and we was thinking because we was acting bad in class that we was making the teachers quit. So in our minds, we didn't like a teacher. We just act a certain way. And then we end up coming back the next week, we got new teachers. So we like, hell yeah. But it was all because of what LA Unified was taking away. But so I'm going to go back into this dynamic. Glassica says always racism with racism. It's not always the truth for Reggie Owens that a lot of you lost generation of motherfuckers who don't pay attention to history, don't know about history, and don't archive history. I want to take a dive back into it. But looking into this, this rapid change within the community, because it also goes back into how a lot of people talk about what we was talking about that shit yesterday as well. We was talking about gentrification and shit, and how whites are moving back. But then to hear the words moving back, some people may think, depending on what generation it is, like this has always been ours. The whites are moving in. So therefore, I want to go back in these books. And then I seen some of my relatives on some of the years of the yearbook in Washington. But I like to just look at the people, and even when you go into the 60s and you look at the condition and mindset of Black folks, the way the girls dressed back then, the way the dudes dressed, we was tripping off of the afros of the 60s. And then this is the year right before, where I pulled the one book from the 60s, is the year before the Watts riots. And that began to spark a huge change in white residency in the Los Angeles area. So I want to pull up the area where Washington is. Takes Rattlesnake. Rob G says y'all was like dangerous minds or elementary school. Yep. Velocity says I KO two what he says, two Lobsters, says my junior year, says at Washington Prep. Man, I don't even think he went to Washington. So let's pull up the area of Washington High School. So here's Washington High School, which is around the corner from where I grew up at. I grew up on 111th Place right here. It used to be late almost every goddamn day. I'm like, how many blocks is that? One. Wait, I'm over here. So that's two blocks away from Washington. Entrance gate over here. It used to be late almost every damn day. But yeah, so that's where it is, 111th Place. But let me show the region. So Washington right here on Normandy. Well, I zoomed out too far. You got Normandy here. You got Normandy, Budlong, Dinker, Hobart. Western is where this yellow strip is. You got Van Ness. Then you got Crenshaw. 108. Imperial. Go up to Vermont. You got the 105, which I'm older than the 105. I remember when that shit didn't exist. This is if you hear some of the older, like people follow older gang history in the LA and shit. You may hear people talk about the devil dips, where people used to ride dirt bikes up here, do their little jumps here on their dirt bikes and ride dirt bikes all along where the damn 105 freeway is. All throughout this area, right between Normandy all the way up to Western and shit. Used to be, they hit their hills over there, do your jumps, ride your dirt bikes through there. I'm old enough, like I said, I retain a lot of history about this area. I love this area. But over here, there used to be at Southwest. Southwest used to be a large building. All of this right here used to be just one large building. They didn't knock the buildings down, but it was at one point they knocked one side of the building down. But now it appears they knocked both of the buildings down because they found out the building was built on a fault line. So there's a fault line that runs right through Southwest. So that was the reason for knocking that shit down. So this is where we're at with Los Angeles, with the LA area, about what we about to talk about with what's this thing called the racial dynamics as it relates to Washington as you go through the years. So I want to pull up looking at the dynamics of what Washington looks like currently, and then go all the way to the years when I was there. Vlasica says Hella Place says Hella Place has been gentrified throughout the years, says due to startup tech companies. But not even just that. The thing, like even with the areas that are predominantly black in all of Los Angeles are the prime real estate of all of Southern California. And that's what they want. But it's crazy when you look at this shit, as you look at, even when I go back into the 60s and you look at Washington High School, if you look at the resources that were provided to the students when the school's population was white and Asian. You ain't gonna see a Mexican, none of that shit, or even a black at a period of time. This shit is like crazy looking back on this shit. It says a whole bunch of tech companies in El Segundo, says in Santa Monica, and the Picasso saying, yo, so let's go into this one, man. Let me start off. I'm gonna start off with the furthest that this thing went, and that went into 2017. So I don't got anything of the current years, but it gives you a look. Wait, what year is this? Hold on, this may not be the right one. This definitely ain't the right one. What year is this? All right, this is 94. How did I mix the years up? It's 88. This is the 50s. Hold on, let me find the proper. Here we go. Here we go. How did I click on that? So this is should be 2017. So let me find that one. 2017. I just want to go. I'm not going to go to the 2017. I just want to go through the makeup of what the student body of the school looks like. So this is the Washington Preparatory High School, 2016 to 2017. So let me go through what the makeup of the school looks like. So we dive through some of this shit, get a look at the students, teaching, all that shit. You can see there's a little nice mix of students over here, even though the area over here is still a predominantly black populated area. I think the population is more like maybe 50-50 as far as student body here. But now you see where you see the king and queen, homecoming queen for it is not somebody black. It happens to transition as you go through these transitions. I don't know if that's a black chick or a mixed black and Mexican chick as the queen of homecoming. But you still see the presence of black folks at the school. You start seeing the rise of the Mexican population as you deal with, this increase in immigration that starts to occur throughout Los Angeles and the changing in the dynamic. So I'm gonna start this off with just 2017. That's the furthest I can go back. So it's probably gonna still look the same as far as what 2025, 2026 population look like. And then I'm gonna jump back. I just want you to see what the makeup of the area is. So let me keep sliding down here real quick and I'll dive into that one. Because this is some pretty interesting shit that I just accidentally come across doing that, looking back at my old yearbook from the year I was in the school. Let me slide this shit down. So those look like staff members. I'm not sure if that's security or what. Oh, some type of young man, young woman assembly shit. So military ball, they doing that kind of shit. Let's see. Some Valentine's thing. This still gives you a look of what the student population is. You see the mix. So it's predominantly, so there probably ain't even a white person in this school as a student. So it's now predominantly black and Mexican. So just giving a little quick look, I'm gonna flash through some of this shit and jump right over to 1964. I'm gonna jump to 1964 so you can get a look of what this area looked like. I was tripping seeing Japanese students that were there. So it showed that the area had Japanese residents over there. So let me see. What is this? The freshman class. I'll just skim through this real quick. And you see the mix over here. See what the student body population, still a lot of black. So it's, like I say, it's probably 55% black, 45%, maybe Mexican. So still a large black population over in this area. Probably stands to why I have so much pride as a black person. Outside, I want to be a nigga that's gang banging and shoot at niggas that look like me. And then it looked like the graduating class is much smaller because I didn't see that many people as I skimmed through this one. So here you got it. Skimming through this one from their 2017 class. So then we'll go into, you'll watch this huge dynamic shift. So still maintaining this black population over there. As much as you hear people talk about how the blacks are kind of being replaced in Los Angeles, blacks are moving out, this and that shit. All right, so here we go, looking through that. A lot of girls graduating in this one. All right, so that looked like the end of their senior class from that 2017 year. I don't know what happened in those years. I know that ain't COVID this year before COVID. I don't know what was happening with the school. That was a pretty small graduating class. So let's pop over here to the 1960s and give a look at this shit of what this community looked like well before the turning of the community. So well before the community turns over to being a predominantly black area. And like this, and then also there who used to go there was Gil Garcetti. So this is 1964. Y'all about to trip when y'all see the people here in this student body picture. Oh, let me get it up here. 1 second. And here we go. Y'all about to trip off of this one. So you look at the student body here. So there ain't no blacks in this motherfucker. No blacks in this motherfucker. You got one black chick. You have more Asian students. Oh, I see 3 black chicks. You have more Asian students. And if I could have went into the 50s. Well, we already know what the 50s will look like. But there's 3 black chicks. And this is part of the student. I'm pretty sure this is part of the student body. You have a bunch of whites, and it was crazy. I was trying to think of this shit earlier. It was a white lady who I was not that I was talking about, but somebody that I knew who was talking about her mother was from Los Angeles. Her mother lived in the area and went to fucking Washington High School. And I was like, oh, your mother went in there when the school was predominantly white. And I was thinking, because I think I may have even asked her, did she leave because of white flight? But I think her mother left before the Watts riot, and they moved to New York. She ended up getting married and moving to New York. But look at this. You got a multiple Asian students that are here. And I'm pretty sure they're Japanese descent. I think half of them are white, half of them are Japanese. All right, so let's continue on. You got more here. So this is the other side of the yearbook. And there's a lot of Asians over in the area. Crazy to me. And to just think of the area. This is Washington Prep. This is 1964, the year before the Watts riots. The year before the Watts riots. And look, here go. What is this one? Underclass. And those like kids don't even look like underclassmen. Oh, maybe they're showing their baby pictures, but a bunch of Japanese students. They go to white students. That shit is crazy. Man, this is crazy seeing this shit. It's the front of Washington High School. There go one black dude. Like it was almost a token. It was almost like this like integration period of the black kids going over here. Look, a lot of Asian kids in here. And then it's crazy. Look at the books. And this is the crazy thing looking at these brand new books they got here. I remember this is during summer school. I get put on a detail. No, I volunteered for a detail to get out of class. And the detail was a bungalow. This is when they start bringing bungalows. They start bringing the bungalows as the school population, mainly in the black communities, went through this huge uptick in enrollment, because now in our schools, they start bringing a bunch of people that were coming across the border. And so we saw throughout elementary school, junior high, and even up into high school of seeing the bungalows brought through, and almost all of LA schools in the black neighborhoods, they start bringing these bungalows to help to deal with the growing population of the non-English speaking kids who are getting that, what they call that, ESL or some shit, whatever kind of education and resource they was pouring into that type of education. But during this time, these kids got all these resources, look at these new books. So when I'm in this detail volunteering, I think it's gonna be some old smooth, easy shit. It turned into a life lesson type shit. We go in this building, we getting a bunch of this bungalow stacked from the floor to the ceilings, literally. Books all the way to the ceiling, filled with books. Ain't not near one of these books, brand new books. This is a high school. This is the same Washington Preparatory school that these people come from. We getting used books from other high schools who may have gotten new books, and they fucking donate, not even donate, they recycle their shit and give them to us like we some motherfucking feed the needy ass people. So here we are. We got this kid carrying his books. Let's see. Got this is going into the gym. You still don't see, you see a few black people in there, a few black kids in there, but the majority of this population is other. And then also as we transition, pay attention to the black folks. Pay attention to this time period. of black folks. So it's still like the black folks who still kind of have this southern sense to them. When you move into the 70s and you begin to see this pride and I'm black and I'm proud type movement that's going on around the country, you're gonna see so many fucking afros. But in this time period, you don't see afros in this mug. You see black people with just regular haircuts. Some of the haircuts is cool. And here go our staff. This look like our student staff, bunch of racist looking motherfuckers right here. Look like bigot written all over these motherfuckers' face. A bunch of COINTEL pro ass people right here. Look at this shit. You don't see a black staff except this fool right here. Mr. Davis looked like he done came out the motherfucking NFL. He token in the motherfucker. But these the teachers. Only one black teacher. Two black teachers, Miss Andrews, but they all light-skinned teachers. So they ain't bringing no dark-skinned teachers. Ain't no way. So light-skinned black teachers. Let's see if we can come across a dark-skinned black teachers. Not a one. Look at this shit. Look at it. Oh, there goes a sister right there. She dark-skinned. Mrs. Godin. Look at these motherfuckers, man. There was another black teacher right there, Mrs. Doyle. She was fine. That's only 4 of them. These other ones, man, look like they come from watching lynchings and shit happen. Little Asian teacher. And look, the teachers look like goddamn professors and shit. They look like professors. This is like really when they was getting preparatory shit. Look at the Asian dude. Little Asian dude in here chilling, man. He all in the photo and shit. I ain't never seen no shit like this. She's sitting on stacks of money. She doing the shit Nicki Minaj is doing and that shit that the girls be trying to do now. Look at this shit. Asian dude is a student body president. Student body president was an Asian dude. I don't think I ever seen an Asian dude in my time even walking around Washington, even as a younger kid, of seeing an Asian kid around there. Let alone they lived in a community. They made up the population. So that means their parents lived in the homes over here. These people resided in the homes. Some of these people I'm going to come across in this early time period may have lived in the house that we lived in. And there you go, a black chick. She's the Girl League's president. Look at this shit. That is crazy how these people just scattered from out of this area, just bounce. Here go a black dude here. Look, no afros. You ain't gonna find none of this shit. No afros until we move through time. Look at her look. Look at her hair. Make sure her hair was done. Don't do the afro. Just go in here, get your education. She got her earrings on. They had a very studious look to them. So look at this shit. This is Washington Preparatory High School. Homeboy got his cool fade. See, I didn't even think they cut hair like that back in the day because I don't see too many people. I didn't see too many people with the nice cuts like that. He got waves and shit. Look, more of the Asian. Look, more of the Asian ladies in the student body council. They make up almost half of the student body shit. And what is this? The girls. So this is the Fall Girls and Boy League cabinet. Look, they had these type of clubs going on at the school. This type of shit they had at Washington. Real presentable shit. So this is the journalistic geniuses, surveyor staff. Call them geniuses, surveyor staff. Look, bunch of Poindexter. It was cool to be Poindexter. You had a preparatory high school to get the education. And the school district was going to pour the money in. Look at all these Asian chicks in here. Scholarship Society. Watch, they even got a swimming program. I was tripping like, where the hell was a pool at Washington? They certainly drained the pool when a black motherfucker dipped his old hair, greasy head ass in the pool. They drained that shit. He is in here with this Murray grease and shit. Are we closing the pool down? They're going to fill it with concrete. Look at all the Asian ladies in here. Look at all the Asian folks in here. This is Washington fucking high school. This is crazy. Nobody talks about this shit. A few black folks. Look, the Asian girl got her hair whipped up. Would have never thought that. Now I have heard people talking about they used to do like the landscaping, not knowing they lived in the neighborhood. This was their community. This was their community. Look at this program. Look how they dress suited and shit. The little nice hairstyles. I can't wait till I get to the 70s so you can just watch the transition in the hairstyle. This is called the teenagers. However they pronounce that shit. You don't see many blacks at this shit. Not many blacks at this shit. And within a year, the Watts riots happen, and with the quickness, all the Asians and whites will be gone probably within 2 or 3 years. Look at this shit. I'm gonna just go through their senior classes and some of their sports programs. But there's a bunch of black girls in this program. What is this program called? Hold on. But pay attention to the hairstyles. You'll watch the transition here. I'm gonna keep highlighting that shit just to drive the point. So that's why you hear me being repetitive. It's just to drive in the point of paying attention to this shit. These people are called the Earls. What is the Earls? A singing group? It says the Earls book room baron. So this is a book club. This is a book club. So I guess they separated for the dudes and the girls. So these fools in a book club. So this is the girls, I guess, book club here. Look at that. A lot of black girls in that shit. A lot of black girls in there. And you got a lot of Asian girls in there. And the white girls from South Central. That shit is crazy to me. The Sentinels. Look how they dress. This is Washington. And uniforms and all of that shit. This is what they provided them. I am tripping off seeing so many. I got to keep regurgitating that shit because you do not see any of that shit. That is so many Asian girls in this school. And the whites. The fact that it ain't a goddamn white nowhere near that area when I was coming up. Now that some of them are moving in. That shit is crazy to me. Let's see. That shit is crazy to watch how things just change. So let me go down into the actual yearbook. Says this the honors art. So the black dude made in the honors art, the commerce honors. So they have, look at all these different academic programs they provide. This is, what is this, theater or something? So this must be the theater club or something. Said the Letterman's Club. This is what these guys, a lot of young black dudes in the Letterman's Club. So they're getting involved. Just so much so many programs to prep these folks here at this damn school. International relations clubs, the German club. So yeah, these bunch of Hitler ass people right here. They had a German club, a French club. This must be a Spanish club, but not one Mexican in that shit. They got the Spanish club. It ain't a Mexican in this school. And they got Spanish club at this mug. That shit crazy. The black people learn that shit. This must be theater. Yeah, this is the acting class. So we went to the 50. We went probably 2 years ahead of 64. It probably wasn't even none of the black folks in there. Let alone, so I ain't even got to go into the 50s. Look at this shit. They got all, and then I'm just tripping all these programs they got. What is this program? Athenians, what are these people? Olympians or some shit. Look at all these different programs this school got. Choir, of course, the black people gonna be in the choir. They come out that South. Their parents been teaching them to sing that Holy Spirit music for a long time. They got Holy Spirit hairdos too. Let alone you go to school with some afro and shit. So now you're gonna see. So that's beginning to be the change for white folks when they start seeing black people have this pride about themselves, wearing the natural and shit. They had an orchestra. Washington always had a band and shit. More and more black people, because black people were in the music. This is who the music programs benefited the greatest, and why America's Board of Education has started to defund music programs across the damn countries, because they've been very beneficial for black folks because of the rhythm thing, because of rhythm. Here go the cheerleading team. Look, even the Asian girls wore big hairdos. That shit, the Asian girls wore big hairdos because that was a style that white girls wore their hair in. And the Asian girls, out of, kind of a cultural assimilation, try to adapt a lot to what they seen with whites. They a bunch of assimilators and shit. And what is this? The Color Guard or something? Or that's the band too. Wow, look at this shit. Football team. Probably no black motherfucker on there. Oh, they got a black dude while I'm talking that shit. You see Volkswagen Beetle, cheerleading squad. Oh, let me see. Who is our queen? Let's go out here. I gotta go into the Afro era. So this is just a quick scan through here. The book is not in color because of the time period. Here go. Let's see the football team. Some black folks, got white folks as stars on the team. And pretty soon the coach had to recognize, like, yeah, we want more of the blacks on the team. They're bigger, faster, stronger. So, yeah, a lot of black folks on that basketball team, even some Asian dudes on that team. Look, what is this? Track stars, Asian cat. Oh, look at that nigga nasty ass jump shot. Oh, these fools. Garbage style basketball back in the day. But look at the shoes. Look at the shoe. Oh, I'm glad I went to this shit. Look at the shoes. Ain't no Jordans. Ain't no high top shit. These niggas was playing in Chucks with the high ankle socks. This fool got on the what is that fool used to wear his socks high? Keith, what was that fool? Keith Van Horn and shit. Look at this shit. Them niggas wearing Chucks to play ball. That's probably why so many people in LA wear Chucks. It became a gangster shoe. We go run from the police in my motherfucking athletic shoes. So this is the football team full of black folks. Let's see, you go to basketball team, mixed. Many of the black folks, coaches like sorry, Vernowski, you didn't make the team. Reg is on it. Vernowski, you may want to transfer the fucking Santa Monica. them guys out of the South are moving in here, on the east side of where the 105 be, the east side of Broadway. They're moving on in. You may want to go somewhere else there, buddy. So here's their prom and shit. Look, the prom king and queen. Showing the hell wasn't going to, it probably was against the school rule for a black person to win that shit. Let me see, look at these niggas dancing. Let me see, this shit is wild. But even with the black folk, you're going to watch a transition in the black people in the 70s. All right, so let me see how much more in this shit. Let's see, you go a couple of black folks in there. But these hairdos is killing me. He got the flat top. Ain't none of that from them. Parents have been scared to wear that shit. That lady look old. Let me see. I don't know how they got this yearbook set up, like with the senior classes, or if they did that shit. Oh, this fool got the waves and shit. So that some people did have like regular style, like little fades and shit. Cause I look in Hollywood movies, I don't be seeing people with cold fades and shit like that. They didn't have the best of lineups and shit, but they were cutting fades, I see. Yeah, leave these fools. Who's this? The king and queen? Oh, the knight. They call it knight and lady president. And let's see, here go popular. Look, a lot of Asian folks. That is a trip to me. The winter of 64. 1964. And keep in mind, the motherfucking riots, I think, happened in what, March or May of fucking 65, which would be the following year. You had the Watts riots. So racial tensions explode. I'm pretty sure there was major racial tensions during this time period at the school as well. All right, so let's move on so I can end this one. John F. Kennedy is president, or did he get killed? It says if I'm killed. So no, this must be After when did Kennedy get killed? So maybe Kennedy did get killed around this time. Yeah, look at the dress. The girls dressed in uniform. They held a standard about themselves, their look, their behavior. You didn't have any of this poison in the neighborhood. And this is crazy. In the same neighborhood where drugs get flooded into the area, you probably didn't have liquor stores in every corner in this area. You didn't have any of that shit. You just had people allowed to have clean communities, untampered with, unfucked with communities. It just goes. That's why I'm loving this shit. Is because it gives me, I don't know about the rest of you, it gives me a deeper look into what was transpiring within this fucking community. I don't even think, and then you also go as you go into the later years of the 60s, when they start sending these cats off to Vietnam. So you can deal with the Vietnam factor. You start dealing with the assassinations, all that other stuff. Look, even Washington got this gymnastic program. They even got a gymnastics program. Even a bunch of the black cats in the gymnastics program. Baseball, providing them with nice looking uniforms. It just like seemed like Washington just had everything. Just look at this shit. And just look what they just deliberately take away. Tennis program. Swimming program. I don't even know where the fuck a pool was at Washington. Unless this is at Jesse Owens or some shit. I'm like, where the hell did Jesse Owens get a swimming pro? They ain't even got a swim program at none of the schools anymore. They ain't got none of that shit. Where the hell was a pool at Jesse Owens? I mean, sorry. Where's a pool at Washington? Where the hell did Washington get a pool from? These fools had a swimming program. And you mean to tell me they just the area just collapsed like that? Man, get the fuck out of here. Area ain't collapsed. So here goes 67. That says 60. Oh, these must be the classes, 67 and all that. So still predominant to whites here in the school. Still a bunch of whites here in the school. So let me go over to my next year. The next year will be 1965. So this is the year of the Watts riots. Then make sure I keep up with the comments for y'all writing in the chat. Picasso says, yo, Go Young DJ says, I found my uncle and says in my pops in the Washington yearbook, says in my ex. Oh, what year was your pops in them up there? And the Picasso says, don't forget about student exchange programs. Says, don't forget Europeans hung Aboriginal people, Native Americans, says, and Mexicans and Africans upon arrival. Man, what the hell is you talking about, Picasso? And then Go Young DJ says after the concentration camp, says you had a bunch of Asians in LA. No, before that shit, you had a bunch of LA and Asians in LA. That's how they were able to round their ass up. And then that's how they were able to round them up. But they still lived in the communities and shit. And then Picasso says because even over in Leimert Park, they said a lot of Leimert Park area was Asian inspired, like with the landscaping and all that shit over there. And then I hear people that live in that area used to have like Asian landscapers and all that shit. And Picasso says blacks weren't allowed to read. Says blacks mostly stayed home. Says and the parents worked for cheap wages. Says like the good times. And then Rod G says transferred to the Clippers. Wait, what's that? What you mean transfer to Clippers? And then OG he says OG he Wilder Brew says wearing them wearing them lucky boys. Says all wearing dresses. Yeah, all the girls dressed in a certain style, certain fashion. The way they wore their hairs were done and maintained and all that other shit. So we'll go watch when we get into the 70s. That shit gonna be a trip. I wonder in 65. I don't think the Black Power movements occur until when the Black Power movements occur. Got to be the 70s. When are 60, maybe like 68 or some shit. Because swimming teachers says they're probably gay. Says and black kids didn't join. And then W, I'm gonna just call you W. I don't know what the other shit is. Says hello, salute. All right, so let's go into 1968 here in Washington, South Central. Let's see, the Continental. So Let me see what else we got here. So this is somebody yearbook they uploaded. Very popular person. They want people writing on their yearbook and shit. Going to some Washington history. Let me see. Let's look at the people here. Still white. Still white. They don't get no whiter than these people in that damn white shit right there. You don't get no whiter than that. Let's see. Let me see. Who is this fool? The motherfuckers got look. This fool, I don't even know what the fool says now. It says now the names are endless. Watson I says may claim at least one Colonel James, what is the name? James Savage says, who fought his battles, says not with a gun, says, but through scientific knowledge. Says a military inventor, says involved in each project, says as the satellite program, says in the ATAC or the ATAC, says he helped not only the nation, says, but the world, says the Colonel Savage, to Colonel Savage, and to very says into very the fuck that shit. Oh, and to that very first hero, we dedicated this book. So they'll dedicate books to war heroes and shit. Let's see, he died in 1964. So what is going on? Is the Vietnam? Did he die in Vietnam or something? What war is going on? Since America couldn't keep his ass out of conflicts. So here we go with more of the teaching staff here. So once again, you don't see many black teachers here. You got the students here who lived in the area. This is their community. This community that's now a black community was these people community. The librarian and shit. Look at this shit. It looked like in 65 they fired all the black motherfuckers. Because 64 we had a few black teachers on the staff. I see one black lady there. They call her a homemaker. They gave her a homemaker job. So that's remember they had those programs. They will teach that kind of etiquette shit. Teach the girls how to be homemakers and shit, which is some way out shit as well. So look at this shit. Man, this shit is crazy seeing all these kind of just white teachers in this mug. They left like a motherfucker as soon as black people came in there. They came out, Reagan, and told them, yeah, y'all best to leave before your kids get up on this new shit we about to put up in there. Get out of here before we put the new drug in here. We're going to give it time. See, that's what took so long. The crack would have hit LA in the 70s, but it took the white, it wasn't finished building homes for them and shit. He said, you best to get up out of here because we about to hit these fools with some of the wackiest, cracky shit you have ever seen. Just watch the news and watch what it does to these folks. But as of now, y'all need to leave because we about to tear this area up. It is too many black folks moving in. Who does this nigga look like Michael Jackson sitting at the table with whoever these fools is? That Thomas Jefferson and all them. They got Michael Jackson signing the Declaration of Independence with him and shit. But Michael Jackson did that shit. Time traveling. Let me see. Let's go on. They showing a bunch of colonial shit. All right, here go the student council. Look at the student council. Crazy shit. Look, student council. Look at this shit. Class officers and senators. So they had this real government set up. Remember when they used to teach this kind of shit, civics and all that shit? Give the real breakdown of how government worked. Still got a good number of the Asian students that are still here. Let's see, Boys and Girls Leagues taught these people how to be stand up, outstanding, how to carry themselves, type individuals and shit. Let's see, student council here again. This is Washington High School, which as soon as the white folks leave, they just want to tell you Bloods and Crips and gang bangers and drug paraphernalia. And they overran the school. No, y'all deliberately gave up on this shit. They just gave up on this shit. Let me see. Let's go through some more of this one. Let's see. Here go Urshers. They got Urshers program. They have all type of shit going on when these people is in here. I can't even believe them niggas had a swimming program at Washington. That shit is crazy to me. Look at this shit. The Earls and the Squire. I guess how you say it, Squires. I don't know how you say that word. What is this? The Centennials? I don't know what they do, but it's probably teaching them some good shit. The Colonials, don't know what that is. You still got an Asian population there, which is crazy to me. It says the Girls School Committee. And you got a few black chicks, just a few blacks. You're going to watch how this shit just shifts. This shit, Tag Tyro. What is this one? Look, all these different clubs they could be a part of. French club. And the one thing you don't see is not a Mexican student around at all. You don't see them in here. That's like what I've always told people with the area from LA that I'm from. Like I said, I don't know about the rest of Los Angeles. Look, now the black number of black students starting to grow. Number of blacks, still a lot of whites in there. So maybe they trying to put this Washington shit in here. Like, yeah, we're gonna style some old colonizers in the book before these black folks come over here. That Watts ride shit then kicked off. We need to hurry up and go. We need to go. We need our spaceship ready. So they got on their Artemis and went over to Beverly Hills and got the hell up out of South Central. Look at this shit. That's probably why Trump and them pushing the clean drugs up out of places and shit. Cause they know whites moving back in there with their kids and shit. They don't want their motherfucking kids selling TV and shit. Selling their TV and their mama's Tesla for a hit. You know what I'm saying? So they want to get shit cleaned up. So look, the black folks in the choir coming out of here with that southern styles of singing. So of course they're gonna be in the choir. Of course they in the choir, they in the band, all that shit. Brought rhythm to Washington High School. Washington ain't never heard so much rhythm in their life. And the whites fell out. They fell out of that shit. So they start bringing that real style to them, competing with the other schools. I bet if I pull Inglewood high up and all them schools in Inglewood, it'll be even worse. You probably wouldn't even see no blacks up at the schools in the 60s in Inglewood at this time. And this is still where you barely. So in this time period, what you're seeing is them barely starting to break the redlining. So that's what this is reflective of, is redlining in this shit. This is what you're watching is as they're breaking away from redlining. So look at this is in 65. This is going to be the makeup of our student body. So this is before caps and gowns because people dressed a certain way. So they didn't have to do all that cap and gown shit. So you seeing the black folks. Look how the girls dress. The girls still got that's the kind of 1950 movie star styles. Look at it. The white girls got this shit that falls over and rolls up and curls at the bottom and shit. Even some of the black girls got that shit. So that was the style of the girls, or they look like the Supremes and shit. Laura, what's her name? Loria Davis, she got a little cold style on her little dude. She got a cold little style. Look at their style. Now, watch when I get into the Afro era. That's going to be so motherfucking gangster. But that's the rebellious era. So these people kind of fell in line. They didn't want no trouble. They just came there to get good education. They go home. Yes, sir. No, sir. I just bring my lesson in. I ain't gonna be out partying. I ain't gonna be hanging out doing all this other sick shit. And within a short period of time, man, the mentalities change. Just look at the way these people look at the way they present it. Look at this shit. And these are people who lived in our community. So let me see. So this is the community's changes. So you got to keep in line as you add history into this shit. It must have knowledge of history. So let me see. Summer school graduates. I don't know what that shit. Here they going on picnics. This the commencement. Is this the graduation and shit? The cheerleaders. White. So let me see. Matter of fact, I want to go back into the 50s just real quick, just to show what the black population looked like. So this is kind of more intermixing. You're starting to get kind of the civil rights movement and integrating of shit, but you're also dealing with whites moving out of here. What is this? This is the wrestling? Oh, this track team, probably cross country. Okay, cross country. The basketball team, look, white folks dwindling away. There ain't no whites in that motherfucker. They dwindling away. They ain't brought all these old country, high jumping ass black folks in this bug. So look, 65 is when it happened. 65, because mind, the riots done kicked off. Look at this. Now look at Washington's program sports-wise. Now you're looking at the transition of the area. Look at this shit. You're looking at a major transition in the area. Black folks too much ain't into the tennis shit. There's a few of them. There's a few more of the Asians on the tennis team, which is crazy. I think that the whole tennis team down there Asian at Washington. Gymnastics. They ain't had none of that shit when I was there. They brought it back in the 1 year. It's just the girls doing it. They fools got a gymnastic teams. A lot of black people on that shit. A lot of black people on that gymnastic teams. Not so many black people on the baseball team. Swim. Look, this the shit tripped me out. These motherfuckers got a swimming club at Washington High School. Where I don't know. And this is crazy if the pool is at Washington High School. These motherfuckers got a pool at Washington. And like I say, they had too many of these black people splashing their old greasy head asses in there. They said, man, plug that pool up. This shit over with. Get that pool the fuck up out of here. Yeah, fucking swimming with they motherfucking body grease in the same water. You ain't swimming in the water with these fools. Pour acid in that shit. And look, you're seeing more and more black people just over 1 year. In 64, we didn't remember seeing this many blacks. This must be come up from the years. So that just shows that many of the whites are starting to move out the area. Many of the whites start to move out the area. The white blacks still got the little, they don't wear the afros yet, no naturals. Not one afro in sight in this time period. They haven't seen not one afro. Watch this shit. The blacks still kind of doing, the girls' hairstyle is almost similar to the white girls. So even like when you look at identity and shit, you don't really see much of an identity with the black folks and shit. You really don't see it. Even when you go back into listening to or hearing about the Motown, and that's probably what they mainly listen to is more the Motown type shit. Oh, as soon as I'm talking, here go one afro. Maybe her hair, she couldn't get her hair to unkunk. So that's an unintentional afro. She tried to do something with her hair puffed up. Like, even the Asian girl got the big hairdos. All the Asian girls got the big American hairstyles. They didn't learn it from being working with GIs and shit. So everything was big hair from the girls back then, even the black girls. So you better not walk out the house with your hair all cooked up. This was the black women grease their daughter's hair up, comb the shit out of it. The dudes got the fades, real low hairdos. All right, so let me get out of this one. Let me go. I'm gonna find one from the 1950s, and then I'll be moving into 72. Watch this. So that was 65. Let me go back because I want to go into the 50s just to show where the black population of students was and what it looked like. Let me see what year I'm gonna find. 19. Let's go 19. We went 63. I want to go 57. 1957. Just want to see what it looks like. Let's go 1957. Let me just pop that up. I'm gonna briefly go through that shit and get back over here, back into the 70. So let me see. Make sure you have 1957. All right. George Washington. You got the little people. Got the little white couple sitting in the little square there, nice and peaceful and lovey-dovey. It says George Washington High School, Los Angeles, 47, California. They go area view of Washington. This is what, wait, where is this at? This would be, this is Dinker. So look at that shit. It wasn't even no houses. Damn, so a lot of the houses didn't even exist. So let me pull this shit up. Let me go back to the map to give you guys kind of a view of this shit. So the street over from Washington didn't even exist. There wasn't even no houses over there. Hold on, let me pull that shit up. There weren't no houses over there on 100 and what that be 109th. So let me go back in here so we reference this shit for y'all. So here we go. We looking at, they have that aerial view. I'll go back into that aerial view. So this is Dinker. So that view of that building that you're seeing is here. So you're seeing a view of the building from the front and the football field here. So this is Dinker, the front of the building, 108th here on one end of Washington. The other end is 110th. I don't know what I said, 100. Yeah, so 110th. The football field is right on Normandy. The football field is on Normandy. You got that fire station here. The church I grew up in right here at the corner. I don't even think that church existed then. So, and then look how you got all these homes over here. So you have football field here, baseball field here, and then 110th. And I don't see no houses over there. So, all right, so let me exit out of there and go back over here. Oh, wait, no. So maybe that field I'm seeing is part of Washington, but even on the other side of Washington, there's no homes even on that side of the street. Barely a few apartments. I don't see the fire station. There's a lot of empty lots over here. So let me go back over to this. And he says, I took home, making lots of cuts in there rolling. Let's see. Go Young DJ says, my pops and uncles, says it's class 85. Says, so they in 80, 83 and 84 yearbook. Says, my ex says was in the class of 05. Says she died. Damn, she died from what? And he says, nah, Lamar Park says was Spanish inspired. Nah, they read up on that shit. Read up on the Lamert Park design. That shit had something dealing with some Asian inspired shit. Let me see. Let's go back over here. All right, so this field is supposed to be the football field here. So this would be more that's still part of Washington where this open field. But even across Normandy, there's open spots there. Here on the other side, 108, there's still open spots there. There's a lot more, look like more buildings here. So maybe Washington did have a fucking pool up in it. You go to big ass auditorium. This still is the same building. I don't think they upgraded the buildings and shit. So let's see. All right, we got homes on this side of Dinker. So over there on Dinker. Let's see. Okay, here go the neighborhood. I don't know what street this would be. Look, there's still a lot of open areas and shit. What is that? Would that be Normandy? Where would this be at? So it looks like fresh new homes. These homes look brand new. So the homes look like just popping up. Says a phrase says we might hear at any time, says are on any occasion, is please take note. Says it fits many situations and is used to bring our attention directly upon something by the repetition of words. So by the repetition of words are the use of pictures. The Centennial 1957 wishes to direct all eyes upon the noteworthy objects and incidents around and within Washington. The theme is easy. Says for our school has much to be proud of, says programs, beautiful grounds, and wonderful social as well as educational programs. Says educational programs and many actively interested students. We hope that you will open your eyes and really take note of our Washington for the first time as you turn each page. So this is Washington fucking High School. Washington High School, but we're going to look at what the student body and the staffing look like. And we in 1957. So we're in 1957 here at Washington High School. So I just want to see what the picture looked like, because we've seen a number of blacks in the 60s. I wanted to take it back just a couple of years back to see what the makeup of the school looked like. So see the presence, if there's any presence of black people in the 50s. So here we are. Don't see none of them here. This shit, look, they were so white, they were serving cake in this motherfucker. They had cake as soon as you walk in the damn school. Let's see where that money come from. Oh, it poured right on in. Eat cake. Kids, you wanted cake? You wanted cake. Come eat some cake. Look at this shit. Look at the kids in there. They got dudes baking cakes and shit. Look at this shit. Here go the student bodies and shit. It look like fucking Theodore Roosevelt wife and shit. Let me see. She's a girls. Oh, they had a boys vice president and a girls vice president. Principal. So they had a principal. They had a vice principal that was for the boys, a vice principal that was for the girls, which is this old lady, and then the principal, who was the dude in the black suit. Ain't that some privilege? And let's see. I don't know if that taller dude in the back, if he's black or just a dark white dude. Let's see. All white. All white. Unless this lady on the left, at the second row on the left, she's probably one. I think she a black lady, but she's one of them black ladies that passes. Who the people be thinking she's white, but she actually black. I think she might be one of them. She one of them high yellows. But look how they dress. Look at the dress they got. Look at the stupid ass hair they wear. That's that old German hair salon shit. And look at the staff. You ain't gonna find a black motherfucker in here because this is during deep racist shit. This is during the deep racist times of America. I'll be shocked to see a black motherfucker on here. Let's see that black motherfucker on here. And once again, you're dealing with the racial covenant. So they weren't allowing black people to own shit over there. Like my mom and dad are the second black family on our block. If I remember, I don't think they get on the block till 1962. Is that true? I had to ask Gerald or somebody that. I think they don't get over there until the 1960s. So this is the other crazy shit with this. So here we go with more of the staff. No, they ain't a black lady. Look, you don't see no black. I don't know if I'm gonna find any blacks in the 50s. What's this program they got? They got industrial arts, home economics, and business education departments at Washington High School. You go more of the school staff. Look at this damn shop they got here. It says inspects a workmanship in the machine shop. So this is machine shop. I don't think they had none of that shit. Here goes driver's education. They actually got real cars in this mug on the outside. It's in front of the school on Dinker. They have a driver's education department. Here go more of the staff at the school. They showing the hell. You show up to this school as a black motherfucker, you automatically suspended. That's how bad this shit was. That's what the school staff look like here. Yeah, it ain't no blacks at this motherfucker. In just that short period of time. Here go the boys vice president, the student body president, and then you got the girls vice president. So they made sure they wasn't doing no fucking over at this school. Look at this shit. So here we going through their was campus leader says improve. So this is, I guess, leadership program. Student council. Look at this shit. Look at that shit. Let me see. Is that a Latina chick? She might be the first Latina at the school. Look at that shit. Not a black in sight, homie. Not a black in sight. In just that short period of time. She almost got a black style to the girl all the way on the right, but she white. And this is their community. The community we grew up in is this what the community looked like over there before they wanted to put drugs in there. They wouldn't dare put a drug on the ground. Drugs spill out one of them airplanes they flying over here and said, oh shit, wrong drop off. Dispatch a damn cop car down there, go pick that shit up. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. This is Washington fucking High School. It ain't a black motherfucker nowhere in sight at this mug. And then I can, like I say, from this time period, this is, what y'all picked in this one? I think this is 1957, I think. In 1957, you move 3 years from this shit and you start seeing little small traces of black people in there. Look at this shit. It's an Asian girl. You're gonna find more Asians at Washington than you'll find blacks. And you still don't see Asians. They probably wasn't allowing Asians to move over. Look at this shit. Not a drop of pepper in this goddamn school. Not a drop of pepper. Like I said, you deal with the racial covenants. Look, they need to put on a car show. Yeah, this is gonna be our nigga chasers. Make sure your engine work. Make sure your engine work. Nigga chasing. Fucking super engines are we gonna be chasing. So these are the motherfuckers that black folks had to whoop their ass of. These type folks who ran up out of these are the little local gang banging thug ass kids. That little fine little white chick here. And this fool inclined the flagpole. Look at this shit. This shit is crazy. It ain't a black person nowhere in sight. Just in the 50s. It shows you these dynamic changes in this city, homie. That a motherfucker like me take interest in. You gotta look at this shit. Look at this shit. I don't know if that one fool, I see somebody dark as fuck back there. I don't know if I see two blacks back there. Two blacks back there. I think I see one black back there. He definitely better know his place. So I think I see maybe one black on there, and let's say just some darker white. Look at this shit. They don't give a description of what these pictures are of these different classes, like how elementary do. You take it by your classroom. Maybe you're doing by your classroom. Maybe they didn't have periods back then. Look at this shit. Crazy. Look at this shit. This is just 1957 and 60 something. We were showing there were black people at the schools, even in the sports program. Just a few years beyond this, there's blacks and there's Asians in this mug. There ain't no black people nowhere on this shit in South Central. And it just goes back to politically where you have to be as a people, where you have to be, where you got to tighten your shit up. Because no way in fucking hell that these punk ass Trump-like government officials would have ever did the shit to these motherfuckers that they did once these people left this fucking area. And this is where niggas who want to be part of gang shit and other little street shit, and they got to recognize shit. Got to recognize shit. Look at this shit. Look, here go into the band. Remember that band? How many black people was in that shit? The choir, how many black people was in that shit? You don't see none. And once again, I'm grabbing my nose because my nose hairs be growing this shit. Look. They remember in the clubs in 60, what was it, 64, 65. There was black people in it. 57, none. You only got a black staff member at this school. This fool thing, he goddamn grease and shit. He motherfucking, this is the grease balls and shit. Look at this shit. But guess what? They didn't have to look over their shoulders. There was no threat to them. There was all type of shit provided to them. Education, plentiful. Like, come on, man. School was a nice, a great place to be, safe place to be. Look at this. It ain't a black motherfucker in here. In 1957 at Washington, the world famous Washington High School. Look at this shit. I could just go ahead and end this one. I was just trying to wait till I come across a black person. I don't even know because it's so black and white. I'd see some darker whites thinking they black. But yeah, not. They be like, we getting our nigga chasing cars ready. Little Jerome, you better get out of here. They're gonna take your ass on to the white side. So look at this shit. This is crazy. So they were going through a huge crisis in this school when these black people start to check in because of civil rights laws. Because of civil rights law. And that's why Trump and them cry so much about DI and all that shit. And stupid ass people, Candace Owens minded dumb niggas speak against this shit. Because they don't know shit. And they don't know history. They don't know a fucking thing. Just sell out ass people. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. This is the same school that ain't got shit to this day. This school got all this shit. Like, fuck out of here, man. You can't tell me, man. Look at this shit. Man. Okay. Oh. Let's go into here go the sports programs. Now look at the football team. It ain't no black people here if it ain't a black dude on the football team. It ain't a black football player. Let's see basketball. I mean, this white dude got curly hair like he black. Mama must have been or granny somewhere down the line, some black blood and seeped into the bloodline. Look at this shit. Let's see. This must be JV. It ain't a black motherfucker on that team. I don't know if that's a black dude or what this fool is here. Philip Morgan. Yeah, he a mulatto. So they got a mulatto dude there. Oh my God. Look at the basketball team. It ain't no black people there. It ain't no, that wasn't no black dude I saw. He wasn't even mulatto. That dude was just white. I see Asian. Just a couple of Asians, not as much as the 60s. Wow. This is wicked. The world famous Washington. They see that. Is that a black dude? Says fast to black. Wait, there's some racist shit they wrote. Says, what does shit say? Hold on, let me blow this shit up. That says sizing up the situation. Guards move fast. Says guards moving fast to black. Oh, to block a scoring attempt. Yeah, look, they playing a black school. I'm about to say, I know damn well this black motherfucker ain't on their team. They playing a black school. But that about to say that should say moving fast to black. Oh, he said block a scoring attempt. Let's see. It says a lone wolf says Army man struggles to keep the ball. Yeah, they playing a black school. That must definitely be a school out of Watts. Wait, let me see if I can zoom in the uniform, see what school that is. They don't got a name on their jersey and shit. But he definitely ain't from Washington. Then they probably from Watts High, Watts. What's that called? What's LA Jordan? Let's see. Cross country team, nobody black. Nope. All right, so there we go. So let's move over into the 70s. Now, this one it get real. This one it get real at Washington High. This one it get real at Washington. That shit crazy right there. So we saw with the 60s. I know some people just got in here. You may want to go back to again. But now let's get ready. We're in 1972. And this is where you about to see the James Brown style at this high school. Y'all know what Washington. Y'all don't watch Boys in the Hood. You don't watch Menace. You don't watch all type of LA hood movies. You done heard about Washington. You hear gang history, the Tookies and all them. But before Tookie and all the gang banging shit explodes at Washington and drugs begin to, overwhelm all of the area, because once these white folks got cleared the fuck up out of there and we're going, make sure they're far enough, because when we drop these drugs in here, we don't want none of the old white Washington students hooked on this shit. So let's go into this one. Now look at the afros. Oh, shit. Now look at it. Are you black and you proud? Look at the look now. But not also look at the look. What do you see in here that is pointed out? Now, tell me what you see in this picture here. I'm going to give it some time. I'm going to turn the camera off just so y'all can focus in on what. Tell me, what do you see in the picture? Let me see how sharp people are. Tell me something that you see as a change as we go in the 70s. And now you see here, which looks like a homecoming party or the court. When they name the people going to be the king, queen, and all this other shit. Tell me, what have you seen that is a glaring change at Washington High School? And we ain't even went but one page into this yearbook. What stands out at Washington High School outside of you seeing black folks? This is why I be on shit so much, but people be want to say, oh, you're being racist and all that other shit. That means you slow. Anybody call me racist is slow, out of touch, don't know shit, backwards. Let me see. I'm gonna give y'all like 30 more seconds to see if you can point out the shit that is different now that this school has gone through a huge demographic shift in its race. What do we see? And I ain't talking about the people, because we already see that stands out. We see afros and shit now. We see the changing in the style. Bingo, my motherfucking brother, go your DJ. Bingo. Bingo, bingo, bingo. What else do you see? What else do you see? What else do you see? Or what happens when the white folks move up out of this fucking community? And they ain't even hit us with the crack yet. They just pulled the money out this motherfucker. There's something else standing out too that's right in this picture. The grass is definitely it. Let me see. I'm gonna give it 10 more seconds to see if we get the other answer. What stands out of this shit about what changes with Washington now that these white folks done moved the fuck up out of here. The grass of that field and all these photos we done watch when this school got when this school got a white and Asian population in it, the fields look so well manicured. The 1957 book talked about the area and all this other stuff. But here we move just a short time period forward, and we in 1972. Even in 1964 and 5, they still maintain Washington. But now that the Watts rising have, they're moving out. But now we get in this time period, we're watching kids wearing afros. So the grass is fucked up. And if you look at those beautiful palm trees, which is what California is known for, about how dead that shit is, how they had landscapers go up there and trim the little underbrush of the top, the little dead part of it. Oh yeah. But watch what they let this school fall into. But look at the styles of these young folks. Is the afros, the black and proud. Look at that shit. So we went into where they had all this hairstyle done, laid. The girls had to have hairstyles like the white girls, and the dudes wore fades and sometimes little military box flat tops. Now look at all these fucking afros. Peep all these goddamn afros. Everybody about to have an afro. This shit is funky. We about to get funky with it because it's about to get so black with it. Oh, so black with it. And now we understand, says we are young people, sensitive and often lonely, says for love and understanding of others. Woo, this is the highlight of civil rights shit. Now the tone changes. You hear the racial tone in this shit. Let me see if there's some other quote in here. Here it is. Says life is like a magic bubble. Says quick to fly and soon to end. Sometimes, let me blow this one up so I ain't straining my eyes to read this, because now we're going into some the revolutionary side of shit. So sometimes soaring to heaven. Let me zoom down. Sometimes soaring to the heavens. Says often, I guess supposed to be says of time, says to the heavens, says often, I don't know what that word says, of time. So sorry, so to the heavens, of times hard to comprehend. Says just a fleeting borrowed moment. Says full of hope and wishful dreams. Says this is how I view a lifetime. Says what is that? The epoch of unanswered schemes. Says time allotted for preparing. Says for eternal life to be. Error of a short duration. Drifting on a stormy sea. Says life is a peculiar mixture. One of laughter, two of tears. Says it's a most perplexing puzzle. Says that composes of doubt and fears. Says some of us drink of its fullness, realizing all its bliss. Others never find the rainbow. Says what is that? Dwelling deep in gloom's abyss. Says, but however hard the journey, life is precious. Says life is precious, come what may. Says, and we'll always strive to hold it day by day. Now you hear the dread and the way in which these people talk now. You listen to the dread and the way these young kids talk now as they look at their future. You didn't hear this shit when this is a white ass school, but now there's so much doubt and what happens for these young kids. These are kids who done watched the city explode a couple of years ahead of this shit. They have watched, and then you got to understand what these kids are this time going through. This is why history is so motherfucking important in the history of you, homie. So we in 1972, these kids done watch King, X, Kennedy, all of them get smoked. These kids done watch their cities erupt in the riots. They done watch white folks leave this motherfucker with the quickness, and now all of a sudden they can move in the neighborhoods they were once outlawed to even be in this shit. And as soon as they look like they're on their way up, and now their fathers and mothers able to afford a home for them and shit, now everything gets pulled from up under their goddamn feet. And then not only that, this is 1972. So now you also got the height of that fucking Vietnam shit. And a bunch of these kids, as soon as they hit a certain age, being drafted by these piece of shit motherfuckers who have created this doubt in their world and sending them over to fucking die in Vietnam and shit. Like, come on, homie. That's why it's important to be intelligent, homie, and not be a stupid motherfucker who don't know shit. And when you look at shit like this, you know what you're looking at. That's why it's important to be intelligent. That's why I push that intelligence shit. I don't push nigga shit. I can get on and act like one or make it more in a comical way, but that's what it is. And now you look at that poem from somebody who's probably the student body president, and it's one of uncertainty and a way in which they speak about their fucking future. As they are seniors, they speak of doubt. We didn't peep that shit when that school was of a other complexion, homie. That shit is cold. That's why I love this shit. Let me see. Where was he at? Let me make sure I keep up. Velocity Cuss says, have you seen that series on Amazon Prime? Says called Them. Says it's a effing trip. No, but I wish you would explain and broke down what it's about. And then Go Young DJ says Cutes and Tookie says was in the mechanic class, says at Washington, says and used to bring his car up there, says to work on. They probably ain't got them in this. Well, no, they may, because it's a black school now. They might be in this year, but Vlasica says it follows okay, here we go, the continuation of that. It says it follows a black family, says moving from the South to Compton in the 1950s. Says it shows the gerrymandering, says, and all that other racist shit, says in early LA. And then Velocity cuts in and rolling. Picasso says if you looking for the black, says go back to the prison website. This name Picasso is ignorant, bro. And then Picasso says, no, we just go into the 70s, and then we find the black folks here at Washington. And then Picasso says, right, the Velocity cuts. And then Velocity cuts it there saying, facts, Picasso laughing. Go Young DJ says, grass not even green, laugh out loud. Go Young DJ says, so what year was the change? So my family brought the property over there in 70 to 71. No, the change is like in 60, because you get in the Civil Rights Act, and then Marlon Brown in the building, salute. Picasso in there saying, yep. And then let me go into the Civil Rights Act, because I think that one of the Civil Rights Act of 19, was it? Hold on, let me see. One of the Civil Rights Act brought about the fair housing. Let me see. Or was it called fair housing? I think Civil Rights Act. Civil rights, and this what like stupid ass niggas be talking down about Civil Rights Act, acting like motherfuckers ain't Civil Rights Act, or was it? Could have been 64. Might be 64. That's why you have the black people moving into the area. It might be 64. So let me see if there's a fair housing part in that one. So civil rights, blah, blah, says civil rights and labor laws of the United States, says outlaw discrimination based on race, color, religion. Says prohibited unequal application of voters registration requirements, racial segregation in schools and public accommodations, and employment discrimination, which you get bigoted ass whites constantly bending the rules on that shit, turning a blind eye to its continuation and shit like that. But I think this one, the one of 64, brought about fair housing, I believe. So it might be the 64 one. Let me see what else is in this one. Because there have been several Civil Rights Act which just expand on other parts of it. Let me type in the fair housing. Yeah, it might be the 64 one. Let me see. Because like I say, we're seeing that Washington where you start seeing the black folks in it. So 50 something, no blacks. It says Civil Rights Act that added fair housing. Let me see. That was 68. So 68. Civil Rights Act of 68 says this legislation aimed to eliminate discrimination in housing based on race. So 68 is where you begin to see them. It says it was passed shortly after the assassination of Dr. King, because that's where you start getting the rest of the country erupting. Even though it was blacks moving in some of these areas, there was blacks able to break away from it. Some of them to move into the area, probably to get the government off their asses. That was glaring discrimination and the fact of not allowing people to move into certain areas and shit. All right, so back into this shit. So let's continue to look at it. But so you're hearing this kind of uncertain views of their future. Is this Washington is now a black school and shit? Now you're seeing the afros, you're seeing the changes in the youth, you're seeing the changes in the look of the youth. Ain't no more of them nice little uniforms and none of that other shit. It's more about expression. You see here, one white teacher still left there teaching body shop. What do the kids got? Froze. And they ain't playing with Whitey. They'll tell that white teacher, man, what the fuck you say to me? And you having the Supreme shit, that Motown shit up in there. Look at these girls, afros. Says, we are always home, yet not far enough. It says, for us to find the person we are to be. And look, uncertainty, just uncertain. Don't know what is because of what life has handed young black folks at the hands of these old bitch ass bigot motherfuckers. Says we are loved, and we love the growth within us. Says the life around us, the earth beneath us. And look at the poetry of these folks, but it's one of uncertainty and shit. Look at the afros. The black pride shit. I ain't gonna read all this poem. I'll leave it up on there for some y'all want to pause it and read it your damn self. I ain't gonna read all that one. And people more poetic. The afros, pride in that shit. That's a snow bunny there. This snow bunny stayed. She definitely had black kids and shit. And black dudes on her. Look, she's scholarly looking. She ain't getting to all the black power movement. She kind of grew up in some other type of shit. Look at this shit. Look at the froze. Says we are moody in our existence, spiritual in our survival. So look at the presentation of them. So, and it's more of a fight. Like, man, we ain't about to take this because they've been through some shit and not knowing within less than a decade of what the government will do to everybody in this area when they introduced that crack cocaine to this motherfucker. That when this school and area was predominantly, they would have never thought of no drug shit. Nobody even looked like they was a fucked up off of drugs and shit. Says even the white kids in some of the videos, most they did was drink, go into their daddy's fucking liquor cabinet and drink whiskey and shit. So says we are moody in our existence, spiritual in our survival, searching for our destination and testing the principles of reasoning. In mind, these is 14 to 17-year-old kids writing this kind of shit of uncertainty about their life, unless that's poetry from someone else. It says we are feelings. Look at these people. Look at the fist. Look at the fist in here now. Look at the movement within a short period of time of where the consciousness of motherfuckers have to go to because of these motherfuckers make you that way. Come on now. Says we can feel the absurdity of our being, the pain of our generation, the mock of our society. Says in the truth of, man, come on, listen to this shit, homie. Come on, man. And they ain't a COVID mask thing to do in some kind of shop. Look at revolutionary shit. Black Panther shit going on. Brought this pride. These kids say, man, fuck all that shit of pressing my hair down and making me look white and telling me it's studious and all that other shit. I'm about to make my shit be natural. Look how just quickly the fucking picture of the school changes. And then you're going to look at it as it changes as crack moves in and the young kid becomes the dealer. Look at these pictures. Look at this. And then they showing people going to college. People going to college, Cal State. But look at you go from people here back in the 50s looking like this girl right here, Olivia Allen, to where these afros. And then they show in here where people are going. So a bunch of these people, they showing this college. They show one dude going to the Navy. He definitely going over to Vietnam. She with the big afro going to Pepperdine. But let's see what. But look, we see Pepperdine. Let's talk about that shit. Where is Pepperdine? Pepperdine right up the block. In 70, I don't think Pepperdine moved out of South Central until like later in the 70s. So she going to Pepperdine where Crenshaw Christian Center is, because that's Pepperdine University right here in South Central. Because like we see what Washington looked like, that's what all the South Central looked like and why that university there. Same reason why Southwest College is there, why Compton College, LA full of fucking colleges within the short area, Torrance College, El Camino College. It's just all type of colleges around that motherfucker. Cerritos College, what else? Compton College. Like I say, Southwest, you get LA Trade Tech. Is it an LA college? It might be one. It's all type of colleges around there to help get these fucking younger whites opportunities to go into work fields, professional fields, get them out of having to work so hard with their hands, let other people come in and do the labor side of shit. So Pepperdine here is still in South Central. Hold on, let me look at the history, because Pepperdine moves to Malibu after a white security guard in this area blasts a young black kid. So let me pull up Pepperdine University. Let me see when did they move up to Malibu. Pepperdine, let me see. Pepperdine was, let me see if they should have that history. Pepperdine, it was on 79th in Vermont is where Pepperdine. So where Crenshaw Christian Center is, for those in LA, that was the campus of Pepperdine. Says racial unrest. Let's see, they moved the 65 riots. That's when you begin to see that transition over there on the campus. So in 69, so 1969 is when Larry Keymon, a black teenager, was killed. Then you start having these demonstrations on the campus. The Malibu construction doesn't happen until 71. The new campus opens in 72. I still think they got the LA campus. So this girl, when she leaves Washington, she's going to the LA campus. University retained and continue to expand the original Vermont campus, holding says building and academic. So she's going to that one. She's going to the LA campus on Vermont. So they're showing this girl. So they're showing a lot of college graduates. The women are in there. They ain't so much of the gang distraction. There's still this movement that teach black people pride to strive for the best. So it ain't so much of going out towards the streets yet. Ain't so much street shit, but Vietnam is still blaring. You're getting a lot of the chicks going off to college. A lot of these college people. These young girls ain't wearing the naturals and shit. And still beautiful people. Look at it. Still beautiful fucking people, man. This type of shit made me turn the camera off and motherfucking tears start filling a nigga eye and shit. Which I say I ain't with the cry baby shit. But look at all these afros, man. Still sharp people being fucked with. And she got a little wacky. Marsha Berry got some little wacky shit. She kind of advanced. She already in the 1980s. She ahead of her times. She going to nursing training. Other chick going to dental assistant. So they had little career oriented people at the school. You going to Air Force. That chick to the right, what's her name? Edwina Brass. She look like Michelle Obama and shit. Let's see, more of the afros. Afros is a thing in this time. So we get the drift. I can skip through. I want to see what some of the departments look like. And the more you move into it, the more the afros, and then pretty soon the afro fades out. The afro fades out, and niggas come in with jerry curls probably as we go into the next era. But look at this shit. This is like one of the strongest periods of the young black movement until that shit was targeted and broken down. Many kids losing opportunities, and poverty began to really take shape with a lot of these folks, and that began to break the minds of a lot of these people as they rebelled against the whitey system and wouldn't go into work. Oh, look, there's still an Asian girl there. So look, not even mean that Asians remain. So they got this one Asian girl here. This dude, probably the only Mexican dude in the area, Alex Garcia. They go another Asian. Well, William Gilmore like Asian. For his age, he probably was adopted by a black family and changed his name. That's an Asian dude. Let me see. Yeah, this is a cold transition of the area. Let me just speed through here. How about damn? She looked Asian too. Rachel Lattimore. My neighbors and them people named Lattimore. I wonder, could that be some of their people? Another Asian lady, Cece Lee. She probably got black kids. Let's see. So you still had a few Asians that remained in the area, but it's crazy with how fast the Asians got out of the area as well, because they were there in the 60s. So you're gonna be these fools' biology teacher. All right, so let me go down. Let's see where the people are out here congregate. Let's see what that shit look like. Look, and they got the trench. They're gonna have their trench coats and shit. Let's see their style. Let's see what does that says? Oh, I don't know what the hell that shit. I don't know what the hell that is. Let's see. I don't know what that says, but they got their little trench styles and shit. Not so much of the dark jackets. Little gangster Cadillac, big ass Cadillac. That mug clean. That shit clean to this day. Them Cadillacs clean to this day. And look at this style. Look at this style, homie. Look at this on their revolutionary shit. This shit still froze. Still got a little bit of uniforms. I don't know what kind of girly fur shit this dude got on his ankles. Look, she out there with a little showing her legs and shit. That's some kind of rebel against the old way of doing shit. She's showing her knees. Remember, girls wouldn't show kneecaps and shit. Going into the 60s and 50s, kind of the mid 60s. But before that, the 50s, early 60s, man, you wouldn't see girls showing their knees and shit, let alone this high up. That girl showing her whole down there cheek at high school and shit. Yeah, she really rebelling out. So let me see. We got more froze. One of them afros, they look like they getting married. The girl showing her thighs again. He got the fro. She got her little curls going. Had her rollers in all night. Look at this shit. Look at these froze, but look at that dead ass grass. I can't get over how they just cut the water off at Washington. Now all of a sudden the grass dead and shit. She got her hair whipped up. She got a lot of hair on her head. Her mom said, "You ain't wearing one of them damn afros, little girl." So we go. Look at that. Look at the uniforms. You didn't see this shit when the white girls get. There, these girls in hoochie mama shorts for the cheers squad. That's when the twerking shit started. So let me see. Here goes some. They bring in the African shit. So this is like African Zulu shit. Bringing more. Look how Washington changed. They bringing in the more cultural shit, more black cultural shit. Them white folks definitely said we got to go. Look how the community just changes. Look how the kids present. So they have bowling there. Don't know where they went bowling. They got tennis. So they playing tennis with big ass froze. You got Arthur Ashe was the name and shit. So they in there. What your white ass say to me? Whatever the ref in tennis is. Black power on your ass. Spanish club and one Latino in this school. So look, you don't even, like I said, you don't even see like Mexicans how you have it in the area now. You don't see none of them. And it goes to show how dynamic shifts happens in this nation, where inside of our communities, how immigration plays a huge part in what we see our numbers that are altered and shit. Same thing with whites, because whites immigrate in this country at the same rate that people that are south of the border and shit. And why they want to talk putting up a damn border wall and shit, because they want more of these white immigrants flooding into here. So look at this shit. It's more froze, more froze. They still got some of the clubs in here when the white folks are there, but less. You can definitely see there's less investment going into it. Now, for the first time in the photo, in these areas, you see dirt on the ground rather than greenery. You don't see greenery. They standing in dirt now. Let's see. You go to choir and shit. Less of even though those are nice little church type gowns and shit, when the white folks are there, you see that the white back in the 50s, there was a more into the presentation of those uniforms and what was put into it. So John Zaraganning, he's Latino, so one Latino dude who's like extreme minority at the school. Big froze, big ass afros, big froze. Look at this shit. Look at this, man. Here go a teacher. This teacher is still down. He down with the black folks. He probably one of them revolutionary stand up against the system whites. Look at these folks. Look at this shit, man. Look at this shit. This is back the last time period as black folks stood for some shit. The funk band. They definitely funk band. Is that Raymond Washington back there? With the hat on his head and it looked like that fool? Let me see, who's this in here? Copland. All right, maybe not. He sure look like how he look on those pictures people be having. You go to band. So the band done changed. The look of the Washington band done changed and shit. You see that girl hair messed up. So drill. Look at the bleachers. Look, they pull the money out of here. Pull the money out. These people part of the club, no uniform in it. There's one white girl still in the community. Now the sports team. They're the cheerleaders. They ain't even got uniforms. Tennis team, they gotta go bring their own shit. Tennis team, I just got on white clothes and shit. They didn't pull all the money out of this shit. Let's see, coach is white. See, white track coach. He's one of the little remnants of the old time ways. See, go to basketball team. Purely black, full of afros. Full of afros. Man, this is some great shit. All right, let me go into the next year. Let me go find my relatives in 88. All right, so we get the drift, so I can exit out of this. I don't think I'll find too much more of anything else. All right, so that was 1972. Let's go into 88. This one, my relative, Charlo in this mug. I don't know if you out here, Deuce Time, CJ. This word Charlo in this one. This is the year Charlo graduated, so 1988. So here we go in Washington. Now, look at the changing in the hairstyles here in 88. So here go George McKenna as well. Let me zoom in on George McKenna. George McKenna, world famous principal because of what Washington was known as. He was a guy who kind of started cleaning the school up. Even to this day, George McKenna is held in the high regards in Washington, even in the schools and Watts and all that shit, because he cared for these kids. So this is George McKenna, the white dude here who Denzel Washington's first leading role in the movie is playing the principal of Washington High School. Denzel Washington was playing this guy, George McKenna, who don't look nothing like Denzel. But George McKenna was a dude who, even as they have the reunions, I think he's still alive. He still goes to the reunions. They invite him out to the reunions and all that shit. That's up how high regards they hold George McKenna. That's why there was a movie made after George McKenna, which starred Denzel Washington in his first ever leading role in the movie. All right, so let's go to the next one. Let me see. Let me see. Here we go. We got this chick, Miss Johnson. Wait, hold on. Oh, I got to zoom out to skip faster. All right, she wasn't teaching there when I was there. I see my old teacher, Mr. Bacure, in here. Mr. Bacure was in here. That was like one of the greatest teachers ever. Mr. Bacure was a teacher who book Crips was made into the movie South Central. So movie all Come to Love South Central is based off of my teacher, Donald Bacure's book Crips. And then look at the hairstyle. So look, we go from the afros to the 1980s hairstyle. And this is 88. So you already know some of these kids is deep into where the girls, they boyfriends, either drug dealers. Some of these dudes is hustling. Some of these dudes' brothers may be hustling. You're looking at more of the hood shit going on, but drugs is benefiting some people. You're watching the girls with the gold rings, you're watching them with chains. So now you get to see as time moves on and about how we look. You seeing chains and shit from we go from the 50s to we went from the 50s where you see no black folks, the 60s where you see black folks, they style and dress, to the 70s, and now we're here in the 80s. This is 88 to be exact. And drug crack is definitely hidden through LA. You can tell this chick got somebody in the game. She got her gold chains, hoop earrings, her hairstyle, she on point, her clothes is nice. Like the newest fashion. Ty Good working the camera. Look, Ty got a camera and shit, which ain't cheap back then. Let's see. Little friends greeting each other, probably saying, "What's up, cuz?" Let's see, Regina Hainsworth and Robert Jenkins, they in love over here. Oh, they talking about they trying to make up. Let's see, this nigga look like a straight gangster. Michelle Fisher gives Eric Battle and Tommy Alexander a few pointers before class. Man, we ain't going to no motherfucking class. Hey, where the more punk ass niggas at? So that's how the look is. Look at this fool with the hat back there, squashed on the top. Look at the hairdo. Look at the haircuts. Look at this fool. That's a fresh ass haircut though. That's a fresh haircut. Look at her expressions and shit. She got her fit. She didn't put her fit together. Cool. They got cool style. So this is where you coming into this era. Little girls showing off their nails. So now the nails the thing. You have girls flashing the nails and all that other shit. They got watches on, rings and shit. We just watch these transitions that we go through. And even her style is a fresh style. She got that MC Light shit on her head. Hip hop starting to flourish. They got the little, what's the girl, the JJ Fad look, JJ Fad and the Salt and Pepper shit going. They look like little rap groups. Look at them. She got the little track suit on and shit. They flashing their nails and shit. Look, they the shit because they fucking with dope dealers. The dope dealer boyfriends buying them rings and shit, getting their hair done. You seeing gold and shit. They rocking gold. They got fits. They looking grown. These girls think they grown, little hot mamas, fast asses. Look at these little fast ass girls. Look at them. Look at it. Man, you gotta love being black though. Even throughout all the bullshit they try to pull and this and that, and kids ain't even understanding what the fuck these people out here doing to us and shit. But we still thriving, moving forward. Just look at the look. Even they style was still fuck with folks. Look at this girl right here with her back to her. You see what kind of jeans she got on? She got on Guess. So she in style and shit. A lot of these girls in style, but you seen the rings and watches and shit. The girls looking for the dude with the most money and shit. This is where you start getting the chicks chasing cheese, chasing motherfuckers with bread. Let me see. That look like Miss Shiver. She almost look like her daughter. It says Keisha and Michelle rising high with their friends. I wonder who the person in the front. She like a teacher. She like the daughter of a teacher that worked there, Miss Shivers. You're going to see Miss Shivers. Miss Shivers used to be my Spanish teacher. She was even teaching at 88. Miss Shivers is teaching for a long time. Her daughters went there. Says Tua Shy says, but Franchella says it's not. Let's see. Let's keep rolling. Look at this girl. Look at her with this big ass bag. Look, dope game like a motherfucker is thriving. Look at this girl in there flossing. What is that? A Gucci bag? Look at her ass. She got the blonde streaks, all that shit. Look at that. Says one of our own walks with dignity. Yeah, the money flowing. Money in there flowing. And even the adults don't know nothing about the dope game. They don't know. They just think their parents doing well. They just think the parents doing well. Look at the hairstyles. Look at the outfits. Look at the outfits. Young people feeling like they on top because they got money and shit. They got money while this shit being brought in to fucking destroy the community, and they not even recognizing it. The adults not recognizing it. The styles of the 80s were cool and shit. Look at this shit. You can just peep, you just watch these transitions. That's why I thought this was kind of unique to cover this kind of shit, especially for the high school I'm from, let alone any high school throughout America. You've seen this shit. But now the afros are gone. The fros are gone. But let me see. I'm going to see my relatives. Some of these people I know from in here. I see Charlo in this mug. Let's see where Willie Allen. That fool look familiar. But all these dudes would be older than me. So this is the older generation. So these people currently in this one be in their mid 50s about. Let me see. Let me go to our relative Charlo. And wait, where Charlo? And then Fella, I think Fella graduated the year Charlo and them graduated. So I think Fella should be in here and shit. Let's see. I'm gonna go through here slow because I think some of the homies' mothers in here as well. Let me see. Because also some of these young ladies got kids, so some of the homies' mothers are in here. I think they graduated the same year as my older relatives and shit. Let me see. Hold on. Let's see. And then see who are the people that have passed away, all that shit. Because then I can go through other years and watch a lot of these people start being killed too. Because this is Washington High School, so a lot of these people involved in the street shit. Let me see. Boom. Let's look at them and shit. So we just come out the year of the naturals to now they just doing all this, creative styling to their hair and shit. The dudes have really rejected the afro. Ain't no more of that natural shit. Ain't no more of the natural shit. Yeah. So they into getting money in the streets and shit. Let's see. No, I don't recognize none of these people, but I did see Earl. I was looking this year because I was trying to find Charlo's year and seeing. I remember his year off top. I just went right into 88 and found this the year he graduated and shit. Let me see. Just going through it carefully, see if I see any other people I recognize. Let's see. Let's see Alonzo. Let's see, we in the D's. Let's see. Nope. And they got look at the glasses. That's some glasses people wear to this day. That fool up top had. Let's see. No, still don't recognize none of these people. There's a lot of people probably didn't go to school. They out there, man. Fuck this school shit, nigga. I'm about to go buy me a bird. I'm out getting money. I'm out of here. Look at the jerk curl, fool with the jerk curl. So got the jerk curl juice dripping on the motherfucking cap and gown. Let's see. No. Yeah, these fool got the ready for the world jerk curl and shit. Yeah, that shit crazy. Just looking through the transition of us, man, with our styles and all this other shit. Let's see. And then once again, you still just see predominantly black at the school. It hasn't even went to where you have this influx of the Mexican the arrival of Mexicans into the school yet. You don't really have that. You just have a very small number. You see some of them now. Where you go a time period before they weren't even there. You just had whites, some Asians, and then you had the black starting to trickle on in there. Shit is crazy when you look at this shit. And then now you're starting to see kind of a reversal of the trends as whites start to try to move back into the area and shit. And they try to clean the area up. And that's the funny thing, how they want to clean the area up, and all this approach to drugs and drug use and softer on crime and all that other shit is now they find in themselves to want to clean shit up as these people move back in there, when they poison and bomb the area when these people are moving out. You see it firsthand by just looking through this shit, just by looking at from the 1950s, the late 1950s to the 60s to the 70s, and watch all these changes happen in the area, which is crazy. Some real unique shit. Real unique shit. Brought to you by yours truly, your boy. Let me see. Still don't recognize none of these ladies here. Let me see. My folks should be coming up here soon and shit. Let me see. And then I see my people's folks, Chris. I seen this homeboy Chris in here. We know Chris since a little ass kid. I think I'm 7, 80, 88. Yeah, I'm 7. I'm probably 6 or 7. Yeah, I'm definitely 6. I don't think I turned 7 when they graduate. So I'm definitely 6 years old during this time in 88. Yeah, I remember they prom and all that shit. I remember all that shit back when Charlo went to prom and shit. Them niggas had that. He had the dopest prom. That was the first time I ever got to see inside of a limo and shit, because they got him a limo and all that. Let me see. Some of these ladies look familiar. Tanya looked familiar. Look, a few more little Latina chicks, not many of them. You probably count the Latino people on your hand in this class. Yeah, ain't many of them at all. It's just mainly black. Let me see. Let me see. I thought Fella graduated with Charlo as well, but he's not in here. Let's see, Teresa. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I'm just skimming through some names. I want to make sure I see anybody I recognize. See how these fools look back when they was real young and shit. Yeah, that shit go way, way, way back. Let's see, James Lyles. Let's see, Marable, Nicole Marable. That looked like that pretty ass chick from where I graduate. That looked like her mom. I think her last name was Marable. I'm gonna see when I go through my year. Yeah, she looked familiar, but no, she couldn't. This couldn't be her mother, because she wouldn't be old enough unless she had her young. Unless her mother had her young. Oh shit! This is Charlo old chick. Oh my god! I think I wish CJ was around Charlo. I think this is Stephanie. Man, I used to love Steph. I used to be trying to get kisses from her because we was little. You know how they kiss you on your chick? This is my people. I call him my cousin because they older than me. My nephew Charlo. This is his old chick, Stephanie. Man, that nigga Charlo always had badass bitches. That nigga had some badass chicks. That nigga used to bring her by. I remember the first time she come by, because we little kids, you know, they being nice to give you a kiss on the cheek. Man, that shit went to my head. Me and my brother used to try to get kisses on the cheek from her. Thought we was getting, thought that shit was something special. She was bad than a motherfucker. That nigga stayed with little bad chicks. I think that is her. That's his old chick, Stephanie. Yup, that is her. Look how fine she was. Let me see. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, I think that was her ass. Let me see. Let me keep going down. Yeah, that's crazy. I think that's her, man. What's her name? CJ in there. You around Charlo? Asked them if that was her. If that was her. Let me see. Keep going. And then Charles should be coming up in the S's. Oh, wait, let me see. No, because that nigga Chris should be on here too. Hold on. Chris is. No, I saw Chris on here earlier. Let me see. There go Chris. There go Chris right there. Chris Pope. Yeah, that's motherfucking Chris and shit. Yeah, I think Charles still cool with Chris and shit. Let me see. Oh, and then Rodney should be on here too if you're on here. Rodney is the one who I used to work with doing the catering shit. Who used to live across the street. I think he should be on here too. I think Rodney is on here. Let me see where Charlo at. Yeah, that's the one I used as an excuse when the old girl was trying to give me something for prom. I was scared of the cat. I had to act like I had to, man, I got a damn catering event in the morning. I can't go. Look, they go Charlo ass right here. They go Charlo look like Archie and shit. They go Charlo right there. Charles Smith. Him and Archie looking like his shit. Little nigga young Charlo. This nigga Charlo, man. Nigga Charlo and the motherfucker. Oh, both of these niggas named Charles Smith and shit. I'm talking about the light-skinned Charlo. That's Charlo, my relative, the light-skinned dude. Look at this nigga, man. Oh, let me see. They got two Charles Smith. Let's see who else we got on here. Let me see if Rodney in here. Yeah, that shit crazy looking back at this shit. Let's see, this fool Theodore. Oh no, maybe Rodney was the year before Charlo. All right, he must be older than Charlo. Let's see, rest of these cats. No, I don't know them. Yeah, look at that shit. All right, let me go through some of the other little pictures from events and shit, because I don't think I recognize anyone else. Let's see. Trying to see anybody else off the block. All right, that should be it. All right, let's go down this shit. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's see what the motherfucking atmosphere look like. They crowded as a mug. That school, man, you ain't see none of this in these other yearbooks. Jerry curls, cats wearing hats now. You didn't see bald caps as you go back through them other years. Now people wearing the bald caps, because now the bald caps come with the I don't even think it's so much of the gang identifier as far as how LA hat shit go yet. So I wonder when did the hat shit become a thing. So you go to King and Queen, says Leslie Gordon. Who was that? Andre Conner. So Fella from the year before, because Fella was the homecoming king. So Fella must be from 87 and shit. He might be from the year before. So they go to Latina chick, Maribel Delgado. And then this fool's in some Egyptian shit. So they really on their black shit at Washington with a dead Phil. Phil fucked up. Look, dirt. Look, the Phil, dirt ass Phil. They didn't have that when the white kids up there. We don't run in dirt. I'm gonna put some. They Phil had Egyptian cotton on it when the white kids there. The Egyptian cotton Phil. Let's see, you got our staff and shit. Let me see. There's even teachers from when I went to Washington that was teaching back in the 80s. Classrooms. Oh, there go Lot. Lot was working up there. Lot, if you know Washington, if you this is how you know you from over there. Lot used to run the weight room. Lot ran the weight room for a long time. People talk about Lot to this day. He says Lot made copies, says for a teacher, says while Mercer Lawrence says looks on. So Lot worked as an assistant, but Lot ran the weight room for a long time. Matter of fact, who I heard talk about Lot? I heard somebody talk about Lot in a podcast recently. Yeah, Lot was a real instrumental dude up there at Washington, man. Washington had like a prison penitentiary type weight room and shit. Look how the gymnasium look. Regular gymnasium, the outside shit. Yeah, it's just crazy how they let the school just not have the funding once these white kids left the school. Which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous that they allow that shit. But now we get an understanding of how these things go. So when these other fools hear me talk on race, they know where I'm coming from. I ain't being no racist motherfucker. You better, if I'm being racist, you better address the people who've instituted racist bullshit. And a lot of people don't like to do that shit. And I love when I hear people not want to do that shit. So look at the hairstyles. Look at the hairstyles. This when barbers start getting unique around this time too. Even today, there's some still dope shit. Look, even the females' hairdo is still on some fresh shit. So let's see. They had an earthquake. So 88 earthquake, October 1st, 1987. Says disaster struck Los Angeles at 7:42 a.m. Says people were on their way to work. Says in general was on their way to school. The earthquake measured 5.9 on the Richter scale. Faculty acted quickly. Says it moved. I wonder if I was in elementary. I had to feel this earthquake. This might have been the first earthquake I felt because I know I was in elementary school in a cafeteria. I remember earthquake happened, and this could have been that. And so, like I said, I'm 6 or 7 years old when this shit happens. It says faculty acted quickly. It says it moved everyone onto the football field. It says it was a long day. It says that we will never forget. It says lucky enough. It says there was no one hurt. It says all during the month. Minor earthquakes were felt, aftershocks. Says an earthquake specialist said it was just a little one. Says compared to what is to come. Says compared to what is to come in the future. And that's always been a thing they've been saying for the last 30 years in California. But I remember if this is the same earthquake when I was in elementary, I'm in the motherfucking cafeteria. We just get to school, about to get the little early morning lunch, and I remember seeing the teacher. Did I duck? I don't even know if I think I had to get on the table because they've been teaching us earthquake drills and shit. The teacher in the doorway, and I've seen the door do this shit, and the building just doing this, and I'm like laughing because as a kid, I don't know what the hell this shit is. Like we've been practicing for earthquakes to get down. They telling everybody to get down. That teacher's standing there in that doorway when the fucking cafeteria building just shaking, boom, boom. Them tables that you can pull and all shit. Them motherfuckers just moving everywhere and shit. That building shook so violently and shit. A motherfucking earthquake. Let's see. So they had to stay outside. Maybe they did that to us. I just don't remember what happened back then. Let's see, looking back. Look at this shit. Some kind of food event. But look at the styles. They wearing baseball caps now. Hey, wait up. Hey, Mike, is Deuce Time in here? Is this nigga Cedric? Hold on, let me zoom in. That look like Cedric. CJ, y'all in here? Hold on, is that motherfucking Cedric? Cedric went to Washington? That is Cedric. Deuce Times. Wait, hold on, let me text this fool. Hold on, let me text Deuce Time. Yeah, I think this is our relative. Let me see what Deuce Time say. Yeah, I think that is his ass right there at the bottom right. That nigga always on some gangster shit, man. This nigga one like a real just G'd up ass dude, man. Even as a young kid, I think this is Cedric and shit. Let me see what Deuce Time tell me he went to Washington and shit. Yeah, I think that is that nigga Cedric. This nigga say I think that is this fool. Let me see Deuce Time say if that nigga up. Yeah, I think that is him. What's that page? 85. He come back. Yeah, so he was at Washington at 88 as well. Yeah, I think that is Cedric. Let me see. Still looking at the dudes. But then how they just let the school fall apart too. No real care of the campus, no money pouring into that shit. So these twin brothers and shit are brothers. Twin sisters. Okay, these must be twins. He says it will say the name. No, it ain't. No, it's so I guess he did go there. No, Deuce think I'm looking at the class picture. So that nigga did go there. So that was that nigga. Yeah, so I think that was Cedric S. Let me see, look at they hairdos and shit. So these are underclass people. Let's see, skip past there. But it's just crazy looking as we transition through the times, like how we looked and styled and all that other shit. And then as you look through Washington, predominantly black. Oh, there go a white kid. He looked like a white kid. And barely any Latinos there. You don't find many of them there. Once again, let me keep going down to more of the activities. Let me see if I see more relatives on here. Let's see any more activities they got. So they got talent show shit going. Of course, we got the talents. Yeah, playing the Public Enemy shit. Must be Halloween. I'm just about to say Halloween. She got a little halter top. No, damn well she snuck out the house in that. Mother let her wear that shit. Showing their stomach. Look, some of the shit you see now from what the styles look like, girls showing their stomach and shit like that. Like them older eras, like hell nah. It's just crazy going through times and looking at styles and what people presented themselves as and shit. They got a football team. Still got that white dude. The white dude stayed there. They got a serious football team. The basketball team. Let's see, look, it's on top. The modeling club. Said knights and ladies. But you see, they ain't putting the money they used to put in them other uniforms. You go to student council, all black. Let's see, got the Black Power fist. Just a wave of blackness. You see in the braids. Look, braids, the first set of braids I done seen in all these eras. So braids start to come in. Braids might have been a 70s thing. I think late 70s a black thing. So I ain't seen so many braids in the 60s or that seeing them here in the 80s. Let me see who else I see in these photos. But yeah, I think that was our relative Cedric in that one photo. Song leaders. Let's see. You go more of the campus out here. She looked angry, like she ready to start some shit. Then I just love this shit. Just capturing shit in time. Auto Club. Bodybuilder Club. That was lot program. But look, you don't see how they when they had the white kids, how they have uniforms and club uniforms and dress and all that. They didn't cut all that shit. But then you have these the what do you call it? The administration is so crucial to a lot of this shit. Administration is so crucial to have educators that care is so crucial. That should mean so much, man. Just having educators that give a damn while all this type of shit is going on in this environment. And the kids just, trying something, regardless of what it is. As long as you're there getting that education, administrators that care can put you in the right position, help give you a shot. Like, that's all some people need, man. Just give them a shot. Let them get their foot in the fucking door. Why y'all give everything else to these other folks? Oh, look. Oh, there, I know her. She went to church with us. That's Tracy. This chick big as hell. That's Tracy. I like big. I mean tall. She like a big woman. Like, I used to think she was Queen Latifah back when I was a kid and shit. Yeah, that's Tracy. I always thought she was Queen Latifah and shit. And this early days, no WNBA, none of that shit. She probably went off to play college somewhere. Let's see. Who else I see on this mug? Let the gymnastic program ain't the same no more. Cheer. This shit. More of the styles. Like the JJ Fad hairdo, salt and pepper shit. Let's see. Little Spanish girl with her Madonna do. Let's see. Teachers. Let me see. I know I'm going to see Donald Bakura on here. I know I see Mr. Bakura. Mr. Bakura definitely got to be on here. Let's see. Dance club. Letterman's club. Oh, this is, what's it say? The Hispanics says, we the Hispanics. So the Hispanics want them, making known we here too. There ain't many of us. Then the Hispanics look black at this motherfucker. The Hispanics Puerto Rican or something. All right, here go the Hispanics. They had to show some Hispanics, so the black people recognize y'all. All right, you go to the Hispanics. So they showing the Hispanics some love and shit. Yeah, you can't say nothing. You see how black people do this shit? God damn it, better learn something. Shit, we showing Hispanics love in this mug. Little Shop of Horror. That's that shit. Remember that Little Shop of Horror? That's what is this actually a movie? Because that's where Gina got started. Gina and Pam. Is that Gina? That chick look like Gina right here. But it's the actual, no, this ain't the actual movie. That's like Gina like a motherfucker. Let me see. Oh, that's why that girl got casted, because she looked down there just like Gina. But that movie is where that's how far back Pam and Gina go and shit. Because they both in the movie, The Little Shop of Horrors. So this is the play at Washington. Yeah, Gina, and if y'all go back and watch that, you see young Gina and Pam and that shit. For those who remember that shit. Let's see. There's some ballet shit. Let me see. I got a few more years ago. I want to go into my yearbook as well. But really, just to go back. Wait, Mr. Pullum in this mug. Hold on. Where I see Mr. Pullum? So Mr. Pullum, the director. Mr. Pullum been directing music at Washington for a long fucking time. So he there in 19. Damn, Mr. Pullum had been teaching. He was in there in the 2000s. Remember Fred? This the dude Fred brought onto his show that one time. This how I knew Fred wasn't from South Central. What's up, Deuce? Hey, did you see the photo I showed us said? Did you see that photo, Deuce? This how I knew Fred wasn't from South Central. When Fred brought Mr. Pullum on, because Mr. Pullum was doing a music program out of Leimert. And Fred, when he was trying to get back, gaining knowledge of what it was to be black, he was hanging in Leimert Park. And so he brought Mr. Pullum on to his show. That nigga didn't even know Mr. Pullum taught at Washington. I'm like, this thing one of the most prestigious high school music teachers in the country. How you don't know this nigga taught at Washington? He's so prestigious with his teaching at Washington as far as music that even Oprah brought him onto her show and donated, like she donated some hundreds of thousands of dollars to a Washington band program, new instruments and all that shit. Newcastle says the whites wore Little House on the Prairie type clothes. Says the Pilgrim shit says until blacks brought their culture. Yes, blacks came into the 60s, you know, they started letting the cultural shit flourish. William DJ said my cousin took Yo-Yo to remake rappers. Says my cousin took Yo-Yo to sorry. My cousin took Yo-Yo, the remake rapper. I don't know why you put remake, but the rapper to Washington prom. Says I don't know what year though. Says but I seen the pics. And Picasso says I was watching PBS channel. Says and it was a school of white. Says who were getting integrated. Says getting integrated, and their parents said they didn't want their kids around black. Says we see their plan. Says we see their plan was to separate. Yeah, whites. That separation shit and the division is a white thing. That's a white thing in this country. But Deuce, I was asking you, that nigga said went to Washington. I didn't know that shit. I didn't know that shit. I'm gonna go back and show you his photo if you didn't see it. Oh, let me go through here. I'm gonna tell you when to look at the screen. Hold on, let me go through this shit. Cause I remember, matter of fact, because I remember Wayne went, damn, this fool was a counselor there. I don't remember this nigga name. But this fool was a counselor at Washington too. Because I remember Wayne was at prom with oh no, Cedric was at prom with Charlo as well. Yeah, they all went to prom. They had some fly ass suits on and shit. look, this nigga Charlo. Look, this fool Charlo. What was Charlo in? Says stay. Oh, Charlo was in acting class and shit. Look, that nigga looked like Aaron. Charlo right here looked like his son and shit. That nigga look just like Aaron. And let's see. Dude says yes. Yeah, he went there. It says remember him and Charlo went to prom. Yeah, I remember that shit. But I think Wayne was there with him too. I remember Wayne had a hat or some shit when he went to prom. I think he went with Mika too. He went with Marquise and her mom. I think I remember all that shit. The limo they had. Look at this nigga Charlo and shit. I'm gonna go back to show said too. Let me finish the rest of these. Let me show that nigga said. Yeah, that shit crazy seeing these fools, man. They see they go Mr. McKenna right there, the one who Denzel Washington played. So Denzel played a white man. So Denzel played a white principal, man, who was a fucking everything about my high school is legendary. But he played a legendary dude. Mr. Higgins, I don't know who he is. He probably somebody known. Let's see who these other people. Mr. Green, the dean. She ain't there. But it was that one white dude. I kept seeing this dude. Oh, he the magnet school coordinator. I kept seeing that dude in some of these photos on here. Well, hold on, let me go back. Let me see. Nope, none of them there. I saw Mrs. Lamont on here. Let me see who's in here too. Oh, no. Dang, Mr. Oh, shit. This is the Coach Davis. Coach Davis had been there for a long time. That nigga was there when I was coaching. And that nigga used to get pissed off. The nigga, because somebody relative or something went to Washington, went like who years before, I think it was somebody father, maybe they uncle or some shit. And because Coach Davis is a short dude, them niggas used to get mad than a motherfucker. Them niggas would do that shit from what's that shit? Treasure Island with the little midget fool. They be like, they played that. That nigga get enraged. And they'll do it because he be on the other side of the gate, on the P field, and the gate be locked. And they be like, Coach Davis, plane. And that nigga be ready to take a nigga head off for saying that shit. But I think that nigga dead now. RIP to Coach Davis. That nigga teaching for a long ass time. Let me see who else is here. None of these teachers here when I was here. But now you see it. But now as we go into time, you're seeing more black teachers here as well. You got more and more black teachers at the school. Let's see who else I see that may have been here a long time. Math, white dude ROTC, he wasn't there. Jabali, she looked familiar, but I don't know if she was there when I was there. Let me see. None of these white folks. I wonder if that white dude, Mr. LaBelle. Oh, I gotta show y'all the white teacher. Look, they go lot. The nigga ran the gym, kept niggas strong at the school. In that penitentiary style weight room at Washington's. Lot had been there for long. Lot them passed away. I don't know if Lot died of COVID or what happened to Lot. But RIP to Lot. Anybody went to Washington, remember Lot. If you lived in the area, especially if you wasn't scared to go to Washington after school hours and be in that neighborhood, then you remember Lot. Let me see who else I see. B Parker, she was there. Her son was there when I went there. So Miss B Parker, her son was there and shit. What is that fool name? Antoine. Antoine is her son. They go, oh, Pettis was an ROTC teacher when I was. Damn, Pettis had been teaching that long. God damn. He was an ROTC teacher when me and my brother was at ROTC. Damn. He been there for a long time. I'm gonna find Mr. LaBelle, the white teacher who didn't give a fuck. That needs to be just sitting in there. Damn, Sergeant Pettis had been there. Damn. Let me see. Benita Smith. Her face looked familiar. Let me see what else I see in this mug. We're going to the 80s and shit. Yeah, I seen that one council. I don't see him on here no more. Look, there go Miss Parker there, the homie mom. Eubanks. But watch, I'm gonna go back in a minute. I should be almost done here. I'm gonna go back to where Said was at. These fools in the 80s and shit, thinking they just fresh. Man, the 80s about being fresh. That was even that was the word back in the 80s. Fresh. Motherfuckers was fresh and shit. But they still got programs. Look at these old ass computers in there. Look, even got computers. When some of the programs are there, but they was slowly getting rid of them programs. Slowly getting rid of. Oh, this is the fool from Last Dragon and shit. So they brought the Last Dragon food in there. Or did he go to Washington? Said, no. When he made an appearance at Washington Prep, says his purpose in making appearances was to let the students know, says a little about himself. Okay, they just brought him there. Yeah, they was a superstar with that damn what's that movie called? Last Dragon and shit. So they brought a senator there. He didn't want to probably cut all the money out the motherfucking school. Said very fortunate to welcome Senator Alan Creston, said to school. Fuck Alan Creston. I believe he probably didn't fuck Washington out of money, a piece of shit. I ain't even got to read up on. He looked like one of the motherfuckers that do that kind of shit. Let me see who else I see. Yeah, that shit was funny seeing that nigga Said. Watch what you see this nigga Said, man. Let's see, Mr. McKenna and shit. These kids can't be in high school. That girl like a little ass girl. But some people look young. Some people look very young in high school and shit. Let's see. This towards the end of the book, so I go back up. This towards the back of the book. People put their own pictures in here. So let's see, who is this? Mr. McKenna, highly recognized. George McKenna, legendary dude. All right, let me see. This should be some parade. Wait, is that a parade? I see someone say rest in peace. So, let me see. Oh, this some stop the violence shit. So yeah, this must be the height of all that gang shit. That was one of the things George McKenna is so well known for. So this is a peace march. So where they at? Oh, they over there by Southwest College. So they right there on Imperial and Western and shit. So here go the awards they're giving out, personality, all that other shit. Oh wait, is that yeah, that's that look like Rodney and the people or people across the street relative and shit. That fool like Zap. That nigga like Roger from Zap. So Whopper rejuvenate landscape. You can pass all that. Then he's got a domino tournament. Well, you know, you had a black ass school. They got a domino tournament in that motherfucker. Yeah, I don't know what that is. That fool brought a domino tournament to the school. Class of 88. Oh, she dedicated. All right, let me go. You in here, Deuce? Let me show you that fool said. Let me show said. I think he was on 84. Where that fool at? He right. Look, there you go right here. Yeah, nigga said. Like show that, send that fool this shit. Deuce. Nigga said at Washington and shit. All right, so this is the end of the 88. Let me go on to 1992, the year of the riots. Let's go on to the year of the LA riots. Let's see what people look like now. So this is the year of like niggas probably extremely violent. This is the year of real crazy ass people in LA. So this is the year after the riot. So this year 93. I could have sworn I clicked 92. So this is 1993. So look how they look. So look how the transition and change. Look at the hair. The girl's hair ain't as put up. The hair ain't as put up. Look, yeah, do say, yeah, that's dog. Yep. See, I knew. I was looking like, wait, that nigga said what the goddamn Washington. Look, their hair ain't as put up. Now this word, because these are the kids. The 90s is well, 90s kid. No, these kids in high school wouldn't be the crack baby era. So maybe some of them parents start getting on that shit. That's what it is. Some of their parents start getting on the shit. So that's what's happening. And now you're dealing with the girls with the little chicken head buns. So you go from where in the 80s they got nice little style to their hair to now you see it. They ain't keeping up with their style. Look at the girls' ponytails. This is where you're dealing with the chicken head stuff. So you see, not to be disrespectful or comical, even though I like to tell jokes, you watching the chicken head shit. And the outfits ain't as well put together and stuff. Because now the money that was rolling in, that money gone. And this is the year Window. Matter of fact, Window is at the school this year. Because Window used to be the drum major here at Washington and shit. There goes Shivers Entertainment, boom, boom. I think Shivers' mom worked at the school. Let me see. Here goes some kids in class. Let's see what we got here. This fool Marcus look familiar and shit. Melinda. Let me see. Yeah, that fool Marcus look familiar. me see, playing in the field. So it ain't no more, it ain't so much of how like fly and flashy the dresses anymore here in the 90s and shit. This is where people, I think people are really going through it. But the 90s had a cool vibe to it. The 90s did have a cool festive vibe to it. But you can definitely see the money and flash ain't there no more, like how that was in showing to the kids in 88 and shit. You definitely see it ain't there. They're gonna miss Lamont. They're gonna miss Lamont. Well-known, legendary educator, principal. She's the principal. Lamont didn't play that shit. People viewed her as being mean. She pushed that uniform shit. She tried to push uniform shit at Washington, but she was big on you tucking your shirt. She didn't play any kind of game banger look. She didn't play that game banger look at all. Like, at all. A lot of people try hard to kick Miss Lamont out of Washington because she was so fucking mean. It'd be enough for Miss Lamont to suspend motherfuckers. And that detention shit. She had that detention shit rolling up there. But now here we go. You just see, even look at the changes that's going on, what's impacting the people as you look at them. Just look at the impacts of people. Where you come out the 80s, the hairstyles ain't as well put as they've been in other eras, dealing with people's parents who can't afford shit. Some people parents strung out. Some people parents that went in incarceration. Hold, let me turn this camera. Some people come in them households that have faced the drug raids and then put a parent away and shit. Put a father away. So you can clearly see that in the dress. Like, repeat this shit. Let me see who we recognize. Let's see. Who's this fool? James. That fool kind of looked familiar as well. Who is this chick? Her name, Williams, something. Sharice Williams. Who is this? Marquise Owens. Sharambi, Madison, Ebony Horn. Nope. They go Donald Bacure, the legendary teacher, my teacher I was talking about. They go Mr. Bacure. So he was here in 90. He was here in 90. What is this? 93. And look, he got the hat to his movie on his head. He got South Central on. But let me zoom into this. I think that says South Central on his hat. Let me zoom this over. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be gonna be South Central on this hat. Legendary, Mr. Bacure. Y'all remember I had him on here. But when I had him on, he was like in his 80s. Mr. Bacure probably definitely in his 90, close to 90 now. He definitely in his upper 80s now. Now let's roll this one back over, flip. Yeah, look at the girl's hair. Yes, I hate saying that shit, but it recognizes the transition, like the change in time period. It's definitely like chicken head shit. A little prep rally. Mr. Gaines, man, this is another legendary educator. Mr. Gaines went on a Crenshaw as well. But Mr. Gaines taught black shit. And when I didn't like that little white teacher I had, the one girl I was telling you about the other day, used to talk to this lady just fucked up. And that white lady would do nothing but cry in class. But this white lady be trying to do shit to get me in trouble. I used to be like, man, I ain't dealing with this white lady before I trip on her. Next to the bungalow for her math class would be Mr. Gaines' class. Mr. Gaines taught history. I go in Mr. Gaines' class. I happen to go in there on some fluke shit. I go in there fucking with a girl I used to always fuck with and be clowning and shit and fucking with her. I happen to just go in that class and then some of the other homies was in there. And when Mr. Gaines teaching history, the people in this class wouldn't answer none of this shit. I'd be in there because this class intrigued me. Even though I'm in there ditching this math class, I'm in his class answering all the damn questions. And he'll let me stay in there. And he'd be like, shit. Because the one girl, when I'm up there fucking with her and clowning shit, and then she gonna tell him he ain't even in this class. Mr. Gaines is like, well, shit, he participate more than all of y'all, shit. And anytime I want to go to this class, I go right in there, be right next door to this little funky bitch class that I wouldn't go to. Let me see, what's this one? Scholastics. You can just definitely see things have transitioned in this 90s time period. They ain't even, it's less color even in the book. Even less color in the book. So you got a few of the Latinos here now. I want to see if any people I know just Window on here, no Window on here. Deuce Time in them, y'all they know Window. I think Vanny was there at the same time when Window was there. I want to see if I can find Vanny on here. Let's see. Art Vanny was going. I think Vanny was going. Art Vanny might have been ditching this shit. Miss Lamont shit. All right, here we go. We got going on here. All right, we got no names. So let me see. Window last name is Reed. So let me see. Who else I see here? Look, and then it's the thing. They show a lot of info on what these people are. They're track and field, what clubs they participated in. That's what they should do in all yearbooks. They should definitely do that more often. Let me see. See who I recognize in this year. Went there with Window and shit. Are some people from off the block? Because Window there, I think Van there, unless Window. Or is Window older? No, I think Window and Vanny the same age because I think they grew up going to school together. You see, I don't recognize none of these people. But look, still predominantly black. You don't got many Mexicans here at Washington, even in 90 something. Even in 90 something. Let's see. No, I'm about to say, is that my neighbor Jabari? No, that ain't him. It's still predominantly black. You see more and more of the Mexicans in there, but not that huge influx that happens. No, around this time, I think that's where you start getting a huge influx of the Mexicans around this time. Definitely in the midnight, the 2000s, boom, it was over with. Them niggas really hit that damn wall. They hit that wall tough. They may have knocked that motherfucker down when it came over here. And plus, Reagan was doing all that amnesty shit. See, Mr. Procure, English teacher, one of the greatest teachers in history. I feel sad for a lot of y'all never had a teacher like this. The great Mr. Procure, man. And let me see where Window at. Yeah, let's go. Window was a drum. I think Window was a drum major for Washington. And that's back when, matter of fact, when Window was running Washington was had whatever competition they are, the rank band. Washington was the #1 band in the nation when he was up there and shit. Washington been #1 band in the nation for a couple of times, for a long time too. Like especially when that motherfucker, what's the name, Busta Rhymes was doing all them little top-notch songs that bands be playing. Man, Washington used to kill that shit. Washington was killing that shit. Let me see. Windows should be somewhere over here. Let me see where we at. It's the R's. Let me see. No, I think I missed one. I done passed him up. All right, let's Window the year after this one. Hold on. I don't think Window in this year. Now, let me see. Let me not pass Window up. Let me see. R-E. Window last name is Reed. Yeah, no, Window ain't in this. Window is probably a junior in this one. and then Vanian in this one. But look, you don't see the flyness and you don't see the flyness in the appearance like you saw in the other years of the blacks here. There's all this conflict shit going on. A lot of shit happening in LA coming out of the riots and shit. Them really starting to put people away. That's the other thing that you probably see impacted in the look of people. This is around the time the from the 80s. So even with 88, that's was it the 84 Olympics, 88 is about time they really pushing the drug shit and then starting to put the long sentences on people. So they really removing people, getting rid of folks, getting rid of their parents if their parents not strung out on shit. So you begin to see the real the rapid deterioration of the fucking families and shit. Rapid deterioration in the families and shit. Let's see, who else do I see in this mug? I think that Demetria chick looked very familiar. Let me see, no color in the book. This shit should be in color. Let me see, 1993, right after the damn riots. Let's see. Yeah, the 90s is probably popping, but it wasn't like the other years. Let me see. Let me go down here to Window. Vanny might be in this shit as well. Hold on. Let me see. Where we at? D's, F. Let's see. H, still full of blacks. You don't see not too many Mexicans at all here. Still black. That shit crazy to watch this school go from an all-white school, a white and Asian school, then white, Asian, and black, and then the whites just diss a fucking peer. Like, where the hell did they go? Oh, here go Window right here. Look, here go Window right here. So I got Window senior year in the next year. So they go Window. Let me see Van in here too. So it's a nigga Window. And let's see where Van at, or if Van was in here. Let's see. Let's see, that's Smith. Vanny must have been missing school and shit. Yeah, Vanny ain't even in here. Yeah, that nigga was ditching. Oh, let me see. Maybe Vanny in a year younger and shit. Let me see. Maybe Vanny a year younger than Window. Let me see. No, Vanny probably was ditching and shit. Let me see if Vanny is sophomore. Let's see, Vanny is sophomore. Where my nigga Van at? Let me see. I see Smith's here. Oh, there go Van right there. Look. Vanny is in this mug. Look at this nigga Van. Hey, Deuce, you still in this mug? Look at this nigga Vanny. And that nigga Vanny is shit. That nigga Vanny in this mug. Matter of fact, yeah, this who. Oh, look, there goes CJ right there. Look, that's Vanny. When I tell the story about our relative who did the during the riots, this him right here. This who brought us all this shit during the riots. Yeah, Vanny. Yeah. So Vanny was damn. Vanny had to be. How old are you in the 10th grade? So Vanny must have been like 14 or 15 when he in there at the riots doing that shit. Yeah, Vanny brought all that shit. So this the year after the riots and shit, or the school season after the riots. Yeah, that shit Van ass and shit. Damn, Van was a fucking sophomore during this time. That's crazy. Let me see what other year I'm gonna go to. Let me see. That was 93, 94. I don't think it's nobody there we know. Let me see. What do I want to check in 94? I'm gonna scan through it. Nothing really checking 94. Once again, you don't got the flashiness. Like I say, once again, you got all that. It ain't gonna be too much change from 93 to 94. Let me just show window on here. I see window right here, window here in the homecoming little court thing. So window right there. I think this is the year window, probably the drum major up at Washington and shit. All right, let me see. It says the Mohicans. What is that? Gardena. All right, so let me get out of there. Yeah, that's crazy. I enjoy seeing. Matter of fact, let me see if I see Vanny in there. So Vanny got to be like a junior this year. Let me see. Let me go back up. Yeah, so Vanny might be Williams. Yeah, Vanny should be somewhere right here. Let me see. These are Smiths. Wait, was it? Nope. Oh, no, that is Smith. So let me see. Maybe I ain't in the right area. Unless this nigga just didn't go to the picture day or some shit. Let me see. That shit crazy going back. Hey, CJ, you missed that nigga. I had Charlo on here. That nigga Cedric was on here. Let me see how they got this shit segmented. Like you say, man, it's just crazy watching these transitions within the people in the community and shit, and just the way in which they not that even they try, the way that they destroy the area, to try to destroy the people in there. Look at that nigga window. Look at window and shit. That shit crazy seeing these folks. And that shit crazy. Windows coming way there from Linwood and shit. Then that lady throwing up the floor. She looked familiar as hell too. I think she grew up in the area too. Let's see. So this has got to be window year. Yeah, I don't think Vanny must have dropped. I don't know what happened to Vanny, why he ain't on this month. Let me see. Yeah, I don't see Vanny. Vanny must have said, fuck that shit. Let me see. There go window in this mug. Let's see. Window should be over here. Yeah, there go window again. And let's see, what's the next year? Here go my year right here. So I went over that shit yesterday in my year. And he says, I'm gonna have to rewind it. He says, Joy should be in there, too. What year was Joy in there? I didn't see Joy. Let me see. Ask Joy what year was he in, so I can go find it and shit. Let me see. I'm gonna go back to my year again and shit. It was a cats my brother used to hang out with, the CB4 cats. See, there go to homie Demont, one of them twins and shit. Demont and them be doing music. Demont and them come from a music family. He grew up on the 13. They were old homegirl Kelly. I was cool with her ass. Gail. See. We had a little cool little year. Cool little year, folks. Tragedy at this damn school. But now you see, you look at the look. You just look at what we, like from, even like looking at the transitional periods of the school and the presentation of people and shit. They go to Samoan homie. This is Samoan homie. I was telling the story the other day, who brother came up to me with the Mexican cat that I ended up putting hands on. His brother used to work at me. Damn, where I used to work with his brother at? Was it FedEx? I used to work with his brother at. Was it FedEx? I think it was. His brother used to always talk about, man, yeah, I'll be out here I be out here fucking people up, man. I be out here taking. His brothers always talking about fighting and shit. It's like, man, like what? He just over just for no reason, just talk about fighting and shit. So then I was telling him about, because when I started going to play basketball at the homie Roy go play at this park in El Segundo. He was always talking about the Mexican dude acting like he Debo and shit, punking people. And when this nigga little brother start coming to the gym with me to go ball and shit, I watched him play a game. I had never played a Mexican dude yet. I watched his brother play a Mexican dude. Mexican dude check this nigga. I watch him do nothing. And I'm looking like, because maybe he didn't want to do nothing because he wasn't on no gang banging shit. And he didn't want to be, because the Mexican dude was like extra out the gang banging shit. And I was just like, oh, no, fuck that. First, I was going to start some shit with the Mexican dude, and stand up was like, nah, let it just die down type shit. But I'm like, man, all this shit, this thing be at work, talking about how he be just taking off on people and bombing. I'm like, man, he didn't do none of shit. His brother used to be at football games when they play Samoans. This motherfucker out of their tribal shit will be firing on Samoans. He used to be punching on Samoans. You like, what the fuck wrong with you, man? Like, it was like he talk about the tribal shit because he tonguing, and they, I guess, some tribal shit. They look alike. They are the same people, but he'll be firing on the fools. But when his brother did that shit, so that's what made me even want to fight the Mexican dude more. Outside of how he was punking everybody allowing that shit. So when I play that fool, when he do that elbow shit, and I beat the brakes off that Mexican fool. To where that's my last. Is that my last? I think that's my last fight ever where he wanted to go get a gun. That's how bad I was punching this motherfucker. Let me see. They go to homegirl Patty, the other little fine ass chick next to her. I can't remember her name. You see, this chick, she still maintained herself. She still look nice. They go my old Spanish teacher daughter. Her name is what's her name? Shivers. Oh. Damn, Comina had a damn quote. What's he? Comina wrote, says, sometimes spirit isn't what it should be. Says, but when the chips are down, says, we come together. And Comina used to want to take me to prom. Comina used to like me like a motherfucker. I don't know what she used to like of me. And I always felt Comina was like a model type chick. But I'd be like, man, I felt Comina was above me. That chick used to like me and shit. They go to homie. Oh, let me zoom in. This is the one homie. I think I told a story about him before. This the homie who got killed in front of the church across the street. This nigga, let me see it while I'm zoomed in. They go the homie Dion. I made the little name. Everybody call that nigga Anchorhead. I'll get that nigga the name Anchorhead. This the homie Devin. Devin, when they did this shit. Who did this shit? 60 Minutes or somebody. They did a series because they were talking about gang members in the military, and they put that nigga in that shit, and that shit almost fucked that nigga military career up. Where he was in, because he grew up in the UGs, all his people from UG and shit. Let me see, gang members. Let me see, I'll find this nigga in this shit. Gang members in the military. They talking about gang members getting out and using their military tactics, to commit crimes on the streets, because they had a Mexican dude out the military ambush a bunch of cops. So they start putting together this little series on shit on whatever that shit was, and that fool was in that shit. Oh wait, I think I see that nigga right here. Hold on. Let me see. I'll pull this shit up. Because they used to be having fools at the damn military bases, especially LA niggas who be in the military, and they be watching that shit. They be having all the little investigative units in the military trying to identify shit, because it be cats in the club throwing up gang signs and all that shit. And I think they got that. That nigga start getting tattooed on his face and shit. Let me see. I think I just saw that nigga. Hold on. Yeah, they showing niggas throwing up gang signs in the club on basis Fort Bragg. Them niggas in there recording that shit. He doesn't even know that shit. But is that? Hold on. Let me see if I see this. Unless he's a white investigator's company. Look, here he go. Look, let me play this shit. Hold on, this is the homie they put in this motherfucking documentary. Let me play this shit. Look at these motherfuckers. Wait, let me back it up. Where they saw the army niggas throwing up gang signs and shit. Hold on, look at these niggas. Look at these niggas on these bases throwing up gang signs in the club.
We trained in the military.
Look where he is. A former ski. I told you these are niggas when I was in basic. They got to tell these white folks about joining that shit. But look.
Combat. Who knows what murder and killing is like.
Look what they put in there.
And gangsters in the military don't seem to feel any need to hide their affiliation. This dance floor is full of gang members flipping gang signs to the beat of gangster rap. It's an Army NCO club on base at Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
That's an example of a situation out of control, and that's frightening.
Detective Hunter Glass, an Army veteran who works the gang beat for the nearby Fayetteville Police Department, is concerned.
It's very popular to be a gangbanger or be a thug. Thug life. That's going to translate.
That little punk ass white cops say that shit, but don't say nothing about them little white dudes joining these old fucking anti-government, racist hate gangs and shit.
Transfer right down into the military. That's all.
Devin Dozier is a 103rd Street underground crip from South Los Angeles. He's known as Tiny Whack and is in the Army at Fort Lewis, Washington.
That's amazing.
Investigators found more than 40 items of gang paraphernalia in his room on base. Scott Barfield is a Defense Department gang detective.
Oh, definitely. You know, it's one of the scariest things I've seen.
Also on Barfield.
That's fucked up. They did that nigga like that, man. Try to ruin that nigga. Fucking pieces of shit. But he got all that shit in his damn fucking barracks unit. That nigga crazy, man. That nigga crazy, man. But yeah, that's the homie Devin right here. That nigga, man, that nigga done does so much successful shit in life and shit. But yeah, that's his ass. But this the homie, back to the homie right here. This the fool, Deron and shit. Well, we done known for a long time, man. That nigga gets shot. Where he gets shot? He gets shot in front of Washington. He getting shot in front of Washington by whoever he had beef with and shit. And that nigga gets shot. Matter of fact, I don't know if you know Marcellus, CJ. I don't know if you know Marcellus. I think Marcellus went to Century Park too. I think he should be your age. That's his brother. Marcellus, matter of fact, they thought it was gonna be a star athlete. There's a photo of fucking Russell Westbrook when he played in fucking at Jesse Owens or some shit, and them two was teammates. They were like a 1-2 package on like AAU team and even at Jesse Owens, but that nigga turned to being from UG as well. But Deron, back to him. Deron was always on his dress shit, always on his fly shit. This is Deron. So let me zoom in so y'all know what I'm talking about. So that was a homie Devin I was showing that story on. The one in the red, in the white and red is Deron. That's the homie Dion, who I call Anchorhead. I think everybody call that nigga that shit. But Deron had that shit. I think I went to the Army. They might have still been in high school when he gets shot. And from getting shot, he was never the same. He was fucked up. I don't know if they said it was the medication they was giving him, like it was giving him morphine or something after he got shot, and it turned to where he was addicted. I don't know if he was doing crack or whatnot. But so when I get out the Army, I don't know how long I was out, but I ended up going to McDonald's across the street from Jesse Owens, right there on Central and Western. And it's at night, so it's dark and shit. And up at the front by where you get your food at, it's a cat up there like panhandling. But the dude looked grimy. He like a younger dude. So I don't know what kind of shit he on. This fool gonna be a fool trying to snatch people money, running off, or what he is. And when I'm getting closer, cause mine, I've been gone for 3 years and shit. As I'm getting closer, I'm looking like I'm probably like 2 cars behind that window and shit. And I'm looking like, wait, hell no. I'm like, no, that ain't him. I'm like, that can't be him. And then fucking like rolling up, and then that nigga, I see him. He see me, man. Oh shit, Red. That nigga always do that. Nigga always do this shit. Oh, I be doing this laugh. And I'm like, wait, the nigga's still the same. But I'm like, man, why you out here like that? And he was like, man, he just asking me about my brother, because my brother in prison or whatnot, and this and that, like everything going. I'm trying to overlook, and I ain't about to judge him, none of that shit. He asked me for a few bucks, I give him whatever, and I roll off. And I think I forgot who I talked to. It was like, man, I seen that nigga Duran and this and that. Like, man, what the hell going on with him? Then they told me when he got shot, he ain't never been the same. Then they had some function at a hotel. Some time after this shit, they had a function at time, but nobody would like treat him like fuck him, like just throw him away. They bring him to the shit they have and this and that. And we up there, he just like, he ain't the same. He ain't on the girls. His they kind of kept him cleaned up, but he kind of ain't on that shit. His mind was gone, like how a person may have smoked some sherm or something. He was like that, like he just not himself, like out of it. So then I see that nigga some time after that too, like a week before he get killed. They hanging in front of Washington, waiting for Washington to get out. And I'm like, man, what y'all doing out here? I happen to be walking. I was walking down Dinker. And it was closer when Washington might get out. These niggas just out there in a group hanging in front of there. I'm like, man, what y'all niggas doing out here? I'm like, man, y'all tripping, hanging in front of here. Like, man, y'all like, man, if y'all ain't got no weapon on, y'all better get the hell up out of here before y'all get caught slipping, because y'all niggas look like gangbangers. People don't know where y'all from. And this is like, y'all tripping. And it was, oh, no, we good, Reg. We just waiting for the school to get out, because they probably waiting for whatever bras they in there fucking with. And then fucking, it wasn't even fucking, if it was a week or it couldn't even been 2 weeks, man, he ended up getting killed by, they say the same dude who had originally shot him, killed him in front of our church. So he got killed right there in front of the church, right there on Dinker and 108. But that was a story with that nigga Duran and shit. It's like so much tragedy. Let me see who else is right here. I think it's, damn, is he right here? Let me see. The one that his baby mama set this bullshit up. Let me see. Where that shit at? This nigga, that shit was foul. Nigga, baby mom set up some shit for him to fight. He beat the dude up. He beat the dude up, and the dude come back and shoot him. Are they about to fight another time? He show up in the alley and killed the dude and shit. Let me see. Who else we got up in this mug? Let me see. They was always on their academic. Yeah, they'll go Kamina right here, the little chocolate chick. That chick used to love it. Even to this day, me and her still cool. I'll hit her every now and then and say something on her Facebook and shit. But she used to want to go to prom with me. She used to like me, man. I used to be, man, on some virgin shit. I was like, man, I didn't know what to do if it came down to fucking or having a date on none of that shit. And then she was always on like model type shit and like carried herself like she carried herself a different way. Like, her. She came from a good parent. All these chicks in here, all three of these chicks in here, they didn't carry themselves like little rats and none of that shit. They was always on their shit. The way they carried themselves, she always kept her hair right, her skin right, clothing right. She was always dressed proper. But you talking about whooping somebody ass, man, Comina whooped the fuck out one of them little loud ghetto ass bras. Man, I was telling the story the other day. We up at Southwest. This up at Southwest where when Shaq and them first get to the Lakers, Shaq, Kobe there, fucking Fisher and them on the team. I think Rodman was still playing with them. And she in there beating their ass. The whole Laker team stopped to watch that shit. Like Camino out there beating his chick ass, like damn, your little quiet ass fight like that and shit. Like whoever taught her, like I said, she come from a well-off household. Her parents taught her how to get down and shit. But yeah, Comina was bad than a motherfucker. Let me see, Rodney Anderson. Oh, let me pull up Rodney Anderson. I was telling his story the other day, where they do his story on fucking that house makeover shit. Hold on, I'm gonna pull that one up. Cause Rodney shit tragic. Rodney shit was. Hold on, let me pull this up. Like I said, I was in the army watching this shit come on, and I thought they was doing some shit with with him going to the draft, because it's talking about his basketball shit and all this other stuff. Oh, that shit called Extreme Makeover. That's what it, no, that's the later one. But the one I was watching was his original story when he had got shot and they were doing this thing on him and shit. His story made like 60 minutes or some shit. They were trying to find the people responsible for shooting him and shit. Hold on, let me see. Is this it? Hold on. No, this is a later one. I can't find that original. Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna pull this shit up on Ronnie Anderson. Let me leave him up there. But Ronnie was like, when you look in the yearbook, he was looked at as the most athletic, all this shit. Nigga ended up getting a scholarship to go play ball. Fool came home. Nigga came home for the spring break or holiday break. Nigga out there talking to his friends. Gunman came up, gunned him down. I don't know. They said something about the dude apologized because he recognized he wasn't the one he was after. Some shit. He stood over him, told him sorry and all that shit. Let me see. Let me see. They go on this story. Let me see. They did a whole extreme makeover on his house and shit. So I ain't gonna play that one because it's on Extreme Makeover's website. Let me play. Oh, let me pull this one up. This Ronnie Anderson. It's a lot of tragedy to this shit at the school, man. A lot of tragedy to this shit. So like to even go from the time period from to go through all these little time periods of all this shit that take place, like from Washington being an all-white school, then seeing this shit that takes place and all that other shit is just crazy. Let me see, where is it when I just saw it around here? Go ahead. All right, hold on, let me get this commercial. So this is Rodney right here. So let me back this up. This is the cards that life gave the homie.
Rodney Anderson has always been an athlete. He excelled in all sports, from first grade through high school. In 2001, Anderson accepted a basketball scholarship to Cal State Fullerton and was headed for a career in the spotlight.
But life all changed for Rodney in his freshman season when he was visiting family in Los Angeles.
A local gang member in Rodney's old neighborhood shot 4 bullets into Rodney's back.
The initial prognosis was that I wasn't going to be able to move anything below my neck.
Rodney was given just 24 hours to live and remained on life support for 2
He'll be on some bitch ass shit.
He was caught and sentenced to 55 years in prison.
It's just sad that, not only my life was messed up, but his life was messed up as well.
Many of Rodney's dreams ended that night, but a new life and a new career began.
Look at it.
A lot of people could have sulked and felt sorry for themselves, but he got right back into the real world, and I admire that.
The maturity level is so high now, and the work ethic is so high.
Since that tragic night, Rodney continued his education at Cal State Fullerton and took on new work, counseling student athletes with Cal State's athletic.
That's the bitch ass shit people do to each other. Now that dude who did that shit, somebody probably put him up to it. He don't even know why he did it. He says, Salute says, I went to Washington Junior High in Seattle. Oh no, this is the one in LA and shit. This is one in LA. Washington used to look like probably was the one in Seattle and shit when it was full of whites. But let me see. Is this one? No, let me go back to it. Wrong year. Let me go back. So that's that Ronnie Anderson, who that shit happened to him. This that girl. This that girl. The one homie slapped the fuck out of her ass in Mr. Bakure class. That little ghetto fight ass girl. And then she used to look down on black people and shit. That nigga slapped the fuck out. I wonder if he in here and shit. This fool I say used to check people out of school. They go to homie Marcus, the homie Derek, who got restaurants. He do the little food thing. This nigga Javier became a lawyer and shit. He done did his shit. Let's see, Tyrone Briscoe was cool. They go London Brown, the actor fool from the movies with I think he in the 50 Cent movie, the Kanan. What was that one y'all said it was? Kanan, Raising Kanan. He in that shit. He was in Ballers with The Rock. He did the comedy tour with Chris Rock. That nigga used to act like Chris Rock. Let me see. They go to homegirl Latoya. Then Latoya used to meet my homegirl. She was cool as fuck. My homegirl Patty, Patricia over there, cool. And then this was what's her name, man? I don't know if y'all remember the lady Miss Watcher used to work with Drill. This was her granddaughter and shit. She used to be at drill school. And this the homie ex chick. The homie used to fuck with this chick. The homie in there smashing this chick had this chick sprung. She tatted that nigga name on. That nigga left that bro. That nigga stupid for that shit. This chick was fine as fuck. What's her name? Sharice. Oh, this the homie Dale. Dale, a doctor and shit. That's the homie. Yeah, Dale done became successful, man. I think Dale dad was a reputable from UG. Matter of fact, he the brother of the homie on the block and shit. That's his brother. They brothers and shit. Let me see. She was fine. Jennifer was fine as fuck. This is fool Danny. Danny went to USC. Jennifer was bad as a motherfucker. She probably still bad. That girl probably still bad. Let's see who I seen. Maisha, I was talking about her. There go that nigga Devin. This the nigga was in that gang shit. The niggas put that nigga in that gang documentary he on base throwing up hood shit. Like a lot of niggas. I can go into stories on that shit. It was a lot of niggas in that army. Outside of that shit, they talking about the white kid, but it was a lot of the black cats and even the LA fucking essays who be on that gang banging shit in the clubs and shit. There was no doubt about that shit, but we wouldn't go overthrow no government. And then it was one Mexican dude. This nigga go AWOL. This fool got AWOL. They was like, they would tell me the story what this nigga wrote because he didn't want to be in there. That nigga go AWOL from NTC. He had a girl picking with that nigga wrote a letter. He wrote a letter on some trying to be as graceful about going AWOL as possible. He was like, man, I'm about to leave. He said some shit. I can't remember that. He like, man, something, man. I'm out. I'll be right back though. Sign. He was like some shit. P.S. D nice. That nigga was gone. Nigga went AWOL for like a month before he came back and shit. You know, I can say a lot about this bro, Maisha. She used to be cool, then that shit got on some other shit. And I flipped out over here over some political shit. And I had to go off on that, bro. There go my homegirl, Caprielle in the building. Salute the Cap. Candace Evans. Candace used to be the tallest chick I ever thought was in elementary. Candace was so motherfucking tall. Candace was taller than the damn teacher. But by the time we got to high school, she like 5'6", 5'7", but she was probably that height in elementary. We thought she was a giant and shit. They go to homie Tonga, named Sion. We call that fool Tonga. I didn't even know that was his real name and shit. Let's see who else we got on this mug. There goes Sharon. I read the story on Sharon the other day. Sharon, the one who and I told stories about Sharon years ago about bitches who fuck with niggas and do all that fuck shit. And she played with him about a kid, which he was wrong because that matter of fact was the shit coming up from that punk in Shreveport doing that shit to all them kids. Sharon had well, not like his. Sharon did some shit after the bitch lied about the kid not being his and him going to get a DNA. He overheard her. That was the way that shit came out. He's sitting in you know how bitches get to run their mouth on the phone and shit, and they telling their friends all type of little foul shit they be doing. So this Sharon story here, where he killed his little child, what child he thought was his, and they even put the quote of what he said about the kid and shit. When he found out that kid wasn't here, it destroyed him and shit. But they said he happened to overhear her having a conversation and her talking about the kid not his and this and that shit. And then that motherfucker get a DNA test. And when them results come back, it was like he lost that shit. He should not have handled that shit that way. He should not have handled that shit way. But he was, man, Sharon was so going forward with his fucking life. He was gonna be a dude that was gonna be something very successful financially in life and shit. He let the shit with a bitch tear him down. Like, even if you find that shit that you didn't have a kid for 4 years, man, that's your kid. Like, even with a bitch doing that whole ass shit, like, man, you just gotta gut it out. Shit, that kid don't know nobody else. That's your kid. I don't know how people take the shit, but not that you don't take no kid life and shit. You better off beating the bitch up over that shit, over that kind of shit. But yeah, that's what happened to that nigga Sharon. Sharon was gonna be very successful. I couldn't believe when they were saying he did that shit. I did not believe that shit. What year was that? Oh, 09. That shit. What is that shit? 09. What did that make? 17 years ago. Should have been 17 years ago. So that kid would be grown. Had he not done that kid would be what? That kid would be what? 21 years old? 22 years old? Like, man. Like, damn. Let me see. What else I see in this motherfucker? Yeah, that girl Crystal was a little pretty chick. Let's see who else I know on this motherfucker. Rashida, she was cool and shit. She's always telling me I was immature and shit. She like, you'll be so nice if you wasn't so immature. This another fool who passed away on some crazy shit. He on that homicide report too. Matter of fact, I was talking about him yesterday. I think he got killed by the police or he got killed by a store owner. I'm about to find that shit. Let me see. Yeah, here you go. It's so much trash. Like, so that's crazy. Like, going through this shit about the transitions of this high school in the same area, the area where predominantly white ass area where whites didn't deal with this kind of shit. The whites didn't have to deal with this shit. So this fool Reginald Hendricks, he was 28 when he lost his life. So in the same year that Sharon did that shit to that kid. Says on Thursday, October 8th, says after being shot in Florence, says in Florence, according to Los Angeles County coroners. And let's see, that's all they got on. I thought they had more details on that shit. Let me see if I can find something else. I think he got shot by a store owner or some shit. Because I think, matter of fact, it wasn't that he just got shot. I think they say he was robbing a place or some shit. Yeah, I think he was robbing a place. So let me see the murder case. So here we go. Let me see. This one get more detail, I believe. Yep, that's exactly what he's doing. So here we go. Yeah, he was committing the robbery and shit. Let's see. Let's pull that story up. Another LA or Washington high school tragedy. Another Washington high school tragedy. So let's see. So here he is. Says he was LA homicide number 246 for 2009. Says a man who was killed in a robbery going bad in South LA has been identified as a 28-year-old Reginald Hendricks Jr., says according to police. Hendricks was attempting a robbery, says, when he was chased by the man he intended to rob. Hendricks Jr. says, and his intended victim got into a scuffle and later was shot. Says the shooting occurred at 9 a.m. Says, oh, so he did this early in the fucking morning on 74th and Main. Says it is unclear whether the robbery says occurred on the street, at a home or business. Okay, so that's unclear. So boom, boom, he's transferred to the hospital where he died of his injuries. All right, so that's all that was on that one. So that's the way he lost his life in that tragedy. Then we had the one homie died in the car crash. And then Ben, I mean not Ben, but Go Young DJ was saying it was at the prom, and I think he is right about the prom. I think, and then somebody was saying crashed into a bus. There was the homie Micah, that big ass fool, just a smart dude. He didn't play no sports. That fool probably couldn't been on the basketball team or star lineman and shit. He didn't play no sports. Let me see what else we got on this mug. A lot of these people, who knows what happened in their life? There's probably more tragedies on here than what I'm reporting on this shit. But the homie Mark, it's crazy seeing the homie Marcus like, man, you see this nigga Marcus now, that nigga on some LA gang bang the fuck out of shit. That was my homie Arthur and shit. Salute to the homie Arthur. Let me see. There was Kalish. Let's see who else we got in here. Mary King, everybody should be on her. That's my homie Marcus Lasky. That's the homie. The homie went crazy and shit. The homie went crazy at them girls killed his sister and shit. Some girls killed his sister that she had beat up. Let me see what else I got on here. Yeah, I think he shot his sister in front of their house. That was a homie from elementary school, the homie Calvin. Mary, I was talking about her the other day. Rachel, not Mary, but Rachel. Rachel is a girl who, if you seen that shit, I was talking about it yesterday, where they had the incident where a tranny broke into her house. She was married to this dude. I don't know if they was on freaky shit. Mary was kind of, I mean, not Mary, but Rachel was kind of different, and even in high school and shit. But she used to show pictures of when she had her baby, showing her baby coming out of her pussy and shit. But when she wasn't at the house, but her husband, who they say he was on like way out Diddy party type shit, he fucking a tranny. But when they was showing the story, because it was trying to file that, they was trying to make it into a thing about Las Vegas police and excessive force and then going to somebody's house and shooting, because the tranny had been at the house the day before fucking up the cars in front of their house, and he reported vandalism and all that other shit. Later, he called the police that the same person has now broken into the house. So when they show the cop on the body cam, the cop come in there, they show this fool fighting for a knife from the tranny, and the cop going to shoot. The cop, I guess the cop mistaked on who was who and shot old boy in the head and killed him. So now the family in there on this shit about trying to get a lawsuit from Las Vegas Metro and get that cop charged and shit. And then when it came out, the motherfucker that was in there that almost they thought was a woman was a tranny and shit. And find out that nigga daughter in the house and shit. He doing that kind of shit. This is my homie Jaime. That's the my homie from El Salvador and shit. That nigga, like I was saying the other day, that nigga was like 300 pounds in junior high and shit. A big ass fool. He's a big ass fool. My homie Dale, they go Dale again. Nigga, Dr. Dale. This is the home girl I grew up since elementary. She got into porn and shit. There's that other little pretty chick was in the porn and shit. Oh, there go Sandra, another pretty ass chick. I wonder what she looked like now. She probably fine still too. Let's see, there's one Samoan chick. Let's see. Who else I got some shit on? Amber, that chick was always fine. Everybody should be on my homegirl, Tyra and shit. I was always cool with Tyra. Everybody should be on Tyra, tough and shit. I don't know why I didn't view Tyra like that. There go my homie Said. This is my nigga right here. This is my nigga Said. Matter of fact, his brother was from Block, man. That nigga brother serving life in prison for some shit he done did. That younger brother, and then me and his brother became cool. Who I worked at FedEx with. His brother was the one who came to that party when these little bitches all fucking. We went to this party and turned that shit out, man. They're fucking every bitch in this motherfucker, man. That nigga, bro, I'm gonna get that nigga brother on here one day, nigga. We had a ball at this motherfucker. Here go me. Here go my big shiny head ass. Look, why I be telling y'all niggas how skinny I was? Look, this how I was, nigga. No weights, nigga. Skinny ass. Oh, damn it. Yeah, skinny ass nigga. Yeah, where I go with that shit? Oh, that was Tiffany Reed. Yeah, where am I at? That was my homie Ernest and shit. Ernest, the nigga, well, I tell the story and I get thrown in the trunk. I'll tell that shit again. But yeah, that's me right here. Oh, that was my homegirl Tanisha Page. But yeah, look how tiny a nigga was. Going to the army, nigga, tiny like that. Motherfucker. And that little fine ass chick, Jennifer. Joy. Yeah, Joy was always big. She passed away from her weight. Cassini was bad. It's the homie across the street, Ernest. Ernest, the one when I tell that story when I got the shit where I almost got thrown in the trunk and killed the shit because of the little egging situation, coming out clowning and shit. And when I come out clowning and shit, the nigga, and I'm looking for where everybody else at. When that nigga run up on me, that nigga said, yeah, nigga, woo woo. I don't react at all. That nigga cold cocked the fuck out of me. Probably, nigga, I probably blacked. I don't know, but I definitely got dropped when that nigga hit me. Then they start putting that chokehold, was going to throw me in the trunk, and who knows if that nigga who was driving wasn't a sheriff, they probably would have killed me. But me and this nigga Ernest, we always sneak up on each other. If I catch that nigga, I watch that nigga, see if I see him outside, nigga, we'll sneak up on each other. We always done that shit for a long time. And make you aware of shit, make you aware of your surroundings. So always will be sharp over that shit. When that fool did that shit, I'm thinking it's him. But when the night we out here doing that shit, Ernest ain't even nowhere with us. So I didn't even catch on to that shit. This that chick, if y'all niggas have watched porn, West Coast Production, you have seen her fine ass in that shit. She was in that shit. That's my homegirl, Teresa and shit. I think I went Francisco. I know I went to elementary school with that fool. At Trishilla, she was always a bad chick up there. This chick right here she had a deep ass voice, was pretty. This chick right here became freaky. I was always cool with her younger sister and shit. Always had classes with her. Raynell was cool. Let me see. Tiffany Reed was my homegirl. Tiffany Reed, matter of fact, when I be telling the story, the girl like leaving junior high and shit, and dudes coming up to pick up junior high girls, she was one of them girls, some niggas be coming to pick up. Like motherfucker, they had dudes on them. Tiffany had dudes on her because she was thick. You like say you get older dudes to prey on these little girls. Why you as fathers, you gotta be on point with that shit. Mexican homie William Segales, man. Motherfucking William and shit. They gonna Miss Shivers' daughter, teacher up there. My homie Timon. Timon, that's that nigga name. Timon and shit. Let me see what else I see on this shit. Let me go find my little crazy ass brother. They go Tyrone, the homie Tyrone, which is my brother name as well. But this the homie Tyrone. That nigga was the rapper Problem Bodyguard and shit. He ended up passing away. I don't know if they did a song about him. Here go Rodney Anderson. This is Rodney Anderson and the girl he was with. He was a cool, very cool ass kid, man. Had a lot going for himself before some old idiot motherfucker does that to him. But good to hear that dude got 55 to life and shit, or 55 years and whatever. This is Ben. This nigga lost his life before we can graduate on prom night. Motherfucker Maisha was always hella cool. She was always dressed. She was always fly. This is Mary. I always wonder what happened to Mary, man. I don't know. Mary came from like a fucked up household. I I've known Mary since fucking elementary and shit. You can always tell Mary came from one of them households that was less than a caring household and shit. And then I don't know if I used to clown Mary too. I probably was a little piece of shit and would be trying to clown on her and shit. Yeah, that's the shit we used to do. Just be bagging on motherfuckers for no reason and shit. Let me see. Let me find my brother, and then that's it. I'm out of here on this one. But it's cool. I just want to definitely go through that history, tap in there, and look at the environment. And this is a thing of all environments across this country, how things are when communities are white, exclusively white. And then to watch how fast whites move the fuck up out of these communities and were able to reestablish themselves in new places with all the same resources, if not more. Here go my little badass brother Tyrone and shit. Not the black ass niggas. My brother, this light-skinned dude, the dark-skinned fool. Here go my badass brother right here. We are different fucking complexions, like my kids are and shit. Oh, damn it. Let me roll back up to this fool. Oh, let me see. I think Eva even in this mug. Let me see. Let me get my ass some medicine. Yeah, so this is my brother right here. This fool right here. Yeah, Tyrone crazy ass. That's that little badass nigga. That nigga bad than a motherfucker. And then this is the fool Stefan. When I tell that story about the cop who put that gun in the nigga face when they came on the block and that cop tripping, this is his ass right here. Which I know I was talking about it yesterday, but I think we got new people in here. That's that nigga Stefan who that cop did that shit too, which is some real fucked up shit. Some real foul ass shit. And then to be knowing that these niggas around there be allowing cops to do that shit, which is some way out, some real way out shit to me. And then let me see where Eva old ghetto ass at. Let me see. Let me show y'all top model Eva. Let me see. Let me see where we at. Let me see. Where is she at? All right, let me see. Her name is Pigford. And let me see where we at. That little girl is loud than a motherfucker all the time and shit. And it was funny because even like I remember turning to that damn top model shit, just turning the TV on and shit and walked away. The TV happened to turn because I think what you call is a black network. And I just heard this girl talking. I'm like, wait, I ain't even looking. I'm down like the hall on the other side of the kitchen where the TV is at. And I just hear this fucking voice. I said, wait a minute. I said, I know damn well ain't that ghetto ass chick Eva on the motherfucking TV and shit. And that's exactly who that motherfucker was. So there go Eva right there. That little girl was loud in the motherfucker, but well known at that mug. But yeah, that's all I got, man. This little intrigue, little journey through life in Los Angeles, life of America, life in where you see in which the deliberate targeting of a group of fucking people by a system and how calculated the shit is, how covert they are about their conduct, and the way in which you watch this school campus in this community, which is a community that thrived once the complexion was the same as the t-shirts that I love to wear. But once the demographics become stained as a shirt that the wearer may have fallen into mud, water, and dirt, and then things begin to change. They pull things away from it. And then they also inject the community with drugs. You watch in the 70s as the school changes, the afros, you watch the conditions of the black folks changing there. We go from the afros, and now you see the girls wearing the chains. They're flashy. Then that shit disappears, and it's less of a pride and look. It's just people are there. It's, you know, a new wave after the drug shit comes about. Now it's we're going to remove your parents. We're going to remove your parents to incarceration. Some of them be removed because they're drug addicted and all that other shit. And we then worked out our plan real deliberate and covertly. And then they make a little bump in the road when that shit gets exposed. But that's all I got. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Peace.